Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. 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 Please don't let me in. Yeah. Go and play that. Set you down, I'ma say that. Might need me a couple dollars. Telling you now this payback. So I take that. Ask them now what say that. I've been going to the top and I got what they not, so I know that they hate that. But I'm on now. All these lanes gonna zone out. And all these lanes gonna tell you what I did, and they twist and they bust till I fall out. But I know that, so I keep what I'm doing cause I own that. And I stay in the lab and I kill everything, but I don't ever move, I'm a Kodak. So I'm gone, finally back in my home. I'm working like so much, they swear I had me a clone. Can't answer my phone now, just leave it there at that tone. Ballin', can't beat me up cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now. Back in my zone now.
Ballin' can't beat me up cause I'm back in my zone now. Back in my zone now.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me in.
Please don't let me into my zone. I just need some time on my own. All these people trying to get a conversation. You can conversate to that tone. I got up on that throne, yeah. So I'm never alone, yeah. All these people trying to box me in. I'm Mayweather, it's on, yeah. Now they ask where I'm at. Making hits that line back. I'm MJ, I'm 2-3, man. I just need some time back. I'm zoned in like defense. My life gone, no recess. But I live my best one, so I got no regrets. So I'm gone. Finally back in my home. I'm working like so much, they swear I had me a clone. Can't answer my phone now, just leave it there at that tone. Ballin', can't beat me up cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now. Back in my zone now.
Ballin' can't beat me up cause I'm back in my zone now. My zone now.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone.
Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone. Let me into my zone.
Let me into my zone. Let me into my zone. Please don't let me into my zone.
I think I let my guard down. Certain things ain't the same now. Hard to navigate these problems. I'm by myself, you're not around. I tried to open up, it wasn't good enough. Put in my all and got nothing back. Now I'm stuck in the rain, dealing with all this pain. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Say it to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back, this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know my heart turned cold, lost control. Looking at this beautiful distraction. Fell in love with a fatal attraction. I really let my guard down, now relaxing. Why did I open up? She taking way too much. Put in my all and got nothing back. I'm feeling so ashamed, I fell into your game. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me, then go and leave me. It can't get ugly, trust and believe me. Say it to myself, looks so deceiving. Trying to fight back, this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't
gotta shake the road up just like an earthquake. Still follow my dreams, even in the worst way. Still doing my thing, no break in my birthday. Take a long way home, had to lean on myself. Let's try to swallow me whole. Jump so high, it's not about a cushion in the max, but all about power through the struggle and the test. 38 in my lung, I can even breathe. Praying to the sky, even almost getting sick. I am who I am, even talking from the street. If it wasn't beef, they would turn me to the beast. Before getting caught up, I need to get caught out. Stuck in the cage, trying to find my way to broke out. Got a whole lot of pull now, I just need a boat out. One day on my shelf, so my tickets will be sold out. Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. Ready for the ride, ready for the fight. I said I move too quick. Don't let slip the highlight. No time, I got no time. Road to the hilltop, always so rocky, so tight. Gamble with my life, hard to be on my own. Trying to stay in line, so I leave it on my phone. You can find one of a kind person like me. Live it in the moment, had to set my mind free. Cause over fear, anytime's near. I'm to the tears, finally don't shed tears. Betting on me is the right way to stand now. Always pulling down the ramp before the rainbow. Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back and having regrets. Hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. Real one gonna last. Tell me what are you waiting? Take it over and this is my year.
Can't tell me nothing. Don't know why. I'm around for the long ride. Look up, kiss the sky. Waste no time. I'll be riding all my life.
Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back and having regrets. Hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. Real one gonna last. Tell me what are you waiting? Take it over and this is my year.
The faint buzz is a warning. It may be the last thing you hear. But I'm the last thing you'll see. was hit hard. Here, Liv. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over. Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn. What's going on? What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
Overall, I mean, they have lots of utility left to play with as well, but finds Peter pushing his boomstick into a very close proximity. Killers finds another, so very quickly.
Well, his opponents are likely going to be low, but utility's now gone for Variant X. They're going to force the issue, and Killer, he just does it. He can't, and the rest of Dire will drop them all. Comes back to for Variant X, and Reaps might have to hold as fast as possible. Killers does go down, but not out. Impact the finish from Reaps. And again, things looking a bit bleak. Reaps, I mean, he's been a standout player of this team for very good reason. He's showing it again. The carrot toss to close the round.
He's hungry. I said, oh, he's just coming. He doesn't miss.
Oh, he sees
my God!
I
my God!
What on earth was that?
Oh my God! Homan got so he's insane! I don't know what's been happening here for them, but these attacking rounds have just not been going in their favor whatsoever. They do up with a full rotate off towards coat check. Knows there's also one somewhere else he has to be wary of, but I don't think he knows the exact positions of these two players. He finds the burst. Can he get the second? Close on the wall. He switches out. He's got enough bullets to get the job done. It's the pistol fight. BCH wins it in a 1v3. Elevate.
What?
Arguably, they should have got away with it, but Variance, what are you doing? Why are you peeking this man? No bathroom, no nothing. So a little bit of a fumble there on that utility, but it's on a Gary from a distance. He finds one. Looking for more. Does drop the repel as well. He's going to collect a second Malik. Put to sleep. And now another walks in. The test is not, but on a Gary's not having it. He finds three. It's all up to Peter, but at this point...
Yeah, Elevate are just superior at fragging, no questions about that. They are some of the best fraggers.
Oh
at
my
kill number
days.
4.
Oh
Just
my days.
unsurprising.
Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back and having regrets. Hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. Real one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the final Playday, the main stage of the Operations League for Southeast Asia. My name is Proto, and joining me once more is Infian. We come into tonight off the back of 2 insane Playdays prior to this, and this being the final, there's a lot up for grabs, Infian.
Indeed. We have the 4 teams already settled in. We know which 4 teams are going to go into the playoffs. We know which teams aren't. We also know that champion, no matter what happens today, cannot be moved from 5th place. So a fair few things are in place, but from 2nd down to 4, these 3 teams, Fury, Elevate, Gaming Gladiators, they all can change position, and I think that is going to be very important for some of these teams to set up these matches for the playoffs.
Yeah, seeding definitely is going to be a big part of how things pan out. I think for the finals, obviously, we do have those top 4 teams going through. It is just basically another APAC South top 4, as expected, I think, to be honest. Look, overall, there's a reason that they're the best teams in the region, Infian, and they're just proving it once more, making it to the finals again. But overall, Fury unable to lock out that first place, which was a bit of a shame. But overall, the bottom 3 do stand to still move around, as you said, sort of setting up those seeding games, trying to get themselves in for a little bit of an easier match to lock in a finals position. Overall, anything for the top 4 teams is up for grabs, but the bottom 4 do still have something to do as well. Obviously, avoiding relegations. You go straight through to the second round of qualifiers as opposed to having to do both. So I guess this is a big night for everyone coming to the end of the main group stage.
Yeah, I think no matter what, it's still going to be a good play day. And as you said, this are probably going to be some closer games that we have seen in like the past couple of days. Yesterday we had 3 close games, which was very exciting to see. Like last week and at the start of this week, games weren't that close. A little bit of disparity. You had like top half versus bottom half teams. This time around, it's like bottom half is bottom half, top half is top half, and then champions like kind of top half, but up there. So hopefully these are really good games. We expect, I think, my expectation today is that we're going to go long into the night.
Yeah, look, as unfortunate as it is to say, I do think it is going to be another late one here in the booth. Yesterday we did have a relatively late evening. We had teams like a Straight making plays where they shouldn't have been, but they were. You got teams like GG having a little bit of fun with things coming into the end of it, going into playoffs. I mean, there was definitely some extended matches last night, but coming into tonight, as you said, I think it is going to be a little bit more evenly matched across the board. Obviously, the games for tonight we'll see momentarily. We've already seen them, but we do know that it is definitely looking a little bit more 50-50 as opposed to David and Goliath type thing. It's a lot more achievable, I think, for some of the teams and where they are maybe more comfortable in the rosters, in terms of what they've been doing, what they've been bringing to each play day. So a little bit more evenly matched is always good to see. It does make for some close siege, and it's what we like to see in the casting booth. But Infian, did you manage to catch any of what happened yesterday? We had some pretty big moments. We had some pretty big moments last night. I mean, notably in the Elevate game.
Yeah, I was watching that game, and I was like, I saw Elevate, like, they're up like 4-0 or something, and I was like, okay, this is like the Elevate that we saw on Friday, which is the Elevate, the 7-0 champion, a team that were at that point just 1 point behind them. And then after that, I checked back like a couple of rounds later, I see like these guys, Obsession leading 5-4, and I'm like, what on earth is going on? Could not believe my eyes. But yeah, here we have matches today. Elevate, they're taking on a Strape, who gave GG actually a pretty good fight. That's the third game of the day. Before them, Variance was Obsession. Quite a close game, I have to expect. Obsession gave Elevate, as we said, a very nice fight. Then you have Champion versus Fury. That will be a good one too. Don't think Fury is going to be too bothered about this one, as Champion is a team that they should really be beating fairly easily. And then ending off with that Apex South matchup that you highlighted earlier on. Gaming Gladiators, of course, playing right now as we speak in the ROG Masters APAC. They're in map 3 of that BO3 against Scars. So this one's looking to go long, and they will probably be very tired come the end of the day, because that will be like a 11 p.m. matchup for them, a 10 p.m. matchup.
Yeah, it'll be relatively late. Overall, we've got the reads out of the way. The schedule is as you see it on the screen. As I said, relatively even matched across the board. First and fourth game, probably the most 50-50. The middle of the sort of go here is probably a little bit more open to interpretation. Fury, as you said, probably should have a relatively easy time. Ultimately losing to Direwolves in max OT yesterday, which was a shame, but good for my prediction, so I can't really say too much. Overall, Elevate taking on a straight, that should be another cleanup as well, dependent on whether or not they have that sort of moment of hope that they had yesterday. Regardless of that, 4 great games, hopefully to close out the group stage and overall close out the beginning of the end for the playoffs and ultimately then the finals, depending on who makes it. We do still have 2 more play days after this for both of those finals and playoffs. But other than that, the schedule tonight is a little bit stacked. It always is here on the Operations League. It stays stacked. We love it. We enjoy watching every moment of it. But I mean, highlights from yesterday coming into today. Elevate were in good form. Direwolves a little bit rough from them, but it's not the focus for us right now. Match number 1, Variance versus Obsession. 2 teams that had some pretty good traction yesterday for themselves, but now will be more of that bottom tier seeding. This will be a decider for who stays in that second place, who gets relegated back to the bottom, and who starts from the scratch again.
Yeah, indeed. These teams, of course, are meeting each other for the second time this stage, as every other team has met. This is the final game for them. They also played each other on play day 7, so it's exactly at the end of the first half you had that matchup, and now you're having this at the end of the second half of this regular stage season. So that is probably going to be, I think, a little bit of a point of pride for Obsession, who lost this the first time out. They lost it 7-4 playing on Clubhouse on play day 7. And it was a fairly... I was casting that matchup, and what I remember from that is it was a fairly strong matchup from Variance. Obsession were underperforming, as they really have the whole season so far, this stage in the Autumn Operation League, because they are right now in 7th place with a mere 5 points. Variance, 7 points. They're close, but players at Obsession, we keep on highlighting every single week that they have the experience that they have. What we expect from them is a lot higher. They should be performing better than where they find themselves. You have Peter from Variance, though. He's been leading the charge for them, or just +2 over there. We have none of the other players even close to being positive, but Variance have gotten a fair few good results in the past. Most notably, I believe, they pushed Gaming Gladiators to maximum OT a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, possibly. Doesn't tickle my brain, but I feel like you might be right in saying that. Regardless, Obsession, who they're going up against tonight, a roster that once more has had some struggles, and as of recent, definitely has sort of been battling with their own issues. Obviously, they've had roster changes. Milimo's come in. He has been doing very sort of respectable in his own sort of term. He plays a lot of that support. He sort of just opens up the walls. He gets some pretty good flashes here and there as well. But I mean, yesterday we saw them playing. They had a really good play day yesterday. Canon was just going absolutely insane. So was Jay Lucky. And unfortunately, it didn't turn into a dub for them. But other than that, this team has been proving day in, day out, they are just exponentially improving. I mean, within each week of the Operations League, we can clearly observe changes being made, and we can also clearly see the improvements being made by Obsession. So to say that this is going to be a close match is definitely fitting descriptions, I think, but ultimately, it's still going to be difficult for both sides, especially with a map like Chalet. It requires a little bit more coordination, a little bit more strategy involved. Both of these teams, they do have the experience in that regards, but I wouldn't say that it's up to par with those APAC South teams, hence why they find themselves down at the bottom end of the league.
Indeed, and we're going to Chalet, which is a map that the Apex South teams that you're speaking of love very much. So we'll see. You know, of course, they aren't playing an Apex South team, but they are playing each other. We'll see which of these second-tier teams, essentially, at this point, come out on top. Because, of course, this is where you kind of compare with each other before you're ready to take that step up to the next level. Potentially, as you said, the obsession improvements are visible. Canum Toy, formerly of Elevate Academy, and Roldini, formerly of Q Confirm, now Fury themselves, as well as Producer Boom, who's not in the roster. As you said, Milamo's come in. So a few changes here from Obsession that have been doing well. Chalet, attacking side of map, although my predictions today for Variance, I'm not too sure. I think Variance are starting on the defense first.
Look, overall, most of us have Variance pegged to win it. Now, Obsession, I mean, I could see it happening. I really could. Overall, I think Variance is probably the safe bet. Everyone else is locking in for Fury and Elevate. Direwolves, I'm the only person that's gone for Gaiman, hoping that pays off. Direwolves being in first obviously makes it a little bit more interesting. Had I maybe done a little bit more homework, that might be an all Direwolves prediction as well. But I'm sitting comfortably in second. You know, I can let one go. Black and Blue's close, but that Obsession pick, that's going to hurt him. So, I mean, look, I'm happy. I'm liking where I'm sitting right now. I mean, everyone else is doing okay. Cthulhu, I'm come for the top, buddy. But
I'm above 70% for the first time this stage, you know, so I'm feeling good about this. I'm in last, but I'm not that bad here off the piece.
Look, I expected more from Blue Panda and Lane, if I'm being honest. I really did. I really expected more, boys. Come on, get up here with the rest of us. Their last season predictions were so good. So I saw this copy. I was like, yeah, guys, what are you thinking? Guys?
I was leading. I was the best in predictions last stage.
But regardless of that, everyone's locked in with what they think is going to happen. I think the middle two are relatively self-telling, but that first and second game, I expected a little bit more variation, if I'm being honest, for the Direwolves gaming game. I genuinely thought more people would vote for Gaiman, given that for majority of the last 2-3 sets of play days, they've just been memeing. And, you know, when they actually do put the chips down and start actually trying, very scary roster, and one that's actually beaten the Direwolves before on occasion. So, I mean, hopes here. It may not be warranted, given that they have already been playing in RNG Masters, but look, we'll see how it pans out for us overall. I'm the only one, so I'm leading the charge here, I do have to say. The hopes last night as well were coming through for me. I was getting down. I was praying to Ubisoft. All of my predictions came true. But for everyone in chat, a dream that can come true for you as well. You can win 600 R6 credits or an R6 Operations League pin, as well as we do have the giveaway on the Facebook page as well. But for the one on here, make sure you follow Rainbow Six SEA, the Twitch channel we're on right now. Drop the hashtag Call Your Shots in chat for your chance to win on here. And then if you jump over to the Facebook page, Rainbow Six Siege SEA, I believe you have to like, repost, tag 2 friends, and jump on the page, give it a like, give it a follow, share it around, tag it, etc., etc. Follow it on there. There should be instructions, but they're giving away. There's so many good things. There's Kingston Fury Ram sticks. There's lots of cool things, credits, etc., etc. Rainbow
Six
caber things,
a sledgehammer,
lots of things. I mean, there's a sledgehammer, replica model. So make sure you do all of that.
7,560 credits.
Make sure you do
these 600 don't matter if you win that one. Right. So, Proto, this first matchup, Variance. Can Peter perform? Yesterday, Peter was a little bit... on Friday, Peter was a little bit disappointing, I remember. We expected a few things from him. Didn't quite match up. That is one of the players that we really are going to be looking towards for Variance to continue this, I guess, domination that they've had over Obsession.
Yeah, look, Variance, they were the ones that gave us straight their first ever win in the Ops League. So, I mean, that was a pretty big slip from them. But other than that, they have proven that they are a relatively proficient roster. uh, on a multitude of different occasions. I mean, overall, throughout time, Variants have had a relatively solid run. You do have to give it that. They beat out Northern Forces in qualifiers. They rightfully earned their place in the OPL. So they did fight for what they are currently playing in. But other than that, we haven't seen them have too much breadth in terms of, maneuverability on the leaderboard. They have been on the bottom end of things, whereas Obsession, they have sort of been up and down a lot themselves, in their own respect throughout multiple seasons of playing OPL. This isn't their first rodeo. The Variants to come in and do as well as they have is definitely a scary prospect. You give them another season and the off season to go away, practice, all the VOD reviewing that they can possibly fit in, come back in the next season provided they requalify. I mean, we could be on for another team like Champion because they've had a very similar run. I think Champion came out of nowhere. They started doing really big things in OPL. Now they're contesting with those top APAC South. They're currently sitting in fifth quite comfortably. So Variance can come in, add a little bit more of the I don't want to say skill, but you know what I mean, like a little bit more challenge
Yeah.
on the middle side of that leaderboard. We could see teams like Gaming Gladiators who consistently are scraping in on fourth, maybe taken down out of that or into that fifth place and put something like Champion, like Variant X, up into that top four for playoffs. But regardless of that, we're jumping in onto Chalet, starting things off with the bands. Knock to go first, no real surprise. She's insane. She's got a great kit. Had an absolutely massive impact yesterday on the map. Obviously, these guys would have been watching it from behind the scenes, so there's no surprise that she is gone first off. Here to follow that up with the second attacker band, Flores. Again, you can't blame him. Top blue, top mezzanine, absolutely required operator for this map. But gone. What are we thinking for the defense?
Well, you have to assume, being Chalet, you're probably going to see Valkyrie ban. There's a fair few places you can hide those cameras. Kaid will not surprise me at all. A couple of hatches that you want to be defending on a few bomb sites, obviously, except for the second one. There we go. One of my predictions come true as I'm talking. Valkyrie, of course, still people have been adjusting. They have been making the adjustments to the fact that her cams can't be thrown out. But there's so many maps, like, console, it used to be one of the maps where you'd throw those out externally, like two of those cameras. But mostly, even when Valkyrie's cams could be thrown out, you put them inside for the extra information. Azami, of course, no surprises, places like the library are just almost impossible to attack, or they're such utility sinks if you have an Azami on board.
Azami's insane. And again, no surprise she's been taken off with the Valkyrie. It's pretty much Azami Valk or like Valk Mirror or like that. Yeah. That is really all you see.
A couple of hides here and there. The last time they played, so Various this time have banned out the Flores and Valkyrie. Last time out, they banned out Hibana and Azami. And it was Maverick and Kaid from Obsession. So, like, very different bans from both teams. Obsession are the ones with the Azami ban, which is the only shared ban from the past game that was on Playday 7.
Yeah, so overall, no surprise with the ban whatsoever. We look to the lineups as well. We got the Doc, obviously, on Roldini. Having those recent changes, Doc and Rook have become a whole lot more viable. Yeah. We've seen Rook, we've seen Doc the last couple of days employed by Gaming Gladiators almost exclusively in their matchup. They've been running them a lot on defense, and other teams, I believe it was either Elevate or Direwolves or Fury or something. Someone was running Doc and Rook pretty much exclusively yesterday as well.
We casted that game as well, I think, Proto, where...
Last week there was a team doing it as well, yeah.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I mean, I'm not surprised. They're both insane now, so you do have to sort of respect that. But other than that, nothing is out of the ordinary for both of these sides. You've got hard breaches, you've got fraggers, you've got soft breach, you've got everything you need on both sides.
Well, everything you need for both sides. So who's going to come out on top? The data suggests it's going to be the attackers, because, we have had the attackers usually dominate here on Chalet in pretty much every single tier, in every single region, though there are outliers here and there. Killer seems to know there's a player very close to him. I think if he gets the angle right, there is a soft wall for him on offer. This is going to come in from below. I'm not sure whether he's looking for a vertical nade or just trying to sneak up the basement stairs. But they are being watched by Silence, so there needs to be some push in from the trophy window at the same time for Silence to be dislodged and for the attacks to not lose anyone on this push.
Overall, they've made some good time. I mean, half the round spent. They've got a decent amount of control, some good crossfires set up. Ready to lock things down, and there you go, the Vertinade to kick it off. Millimo does go down. Zist finds the first. Silence will be able to trade with one onto Killers, though. So they have gone 1-for-1 here. Ultimately, it's maybe not what they would have hoped all up, but given that this is an upstairs site hold and we do still have at least 2 to 3 people nowhere near the bomb site, it's going to be interesting. Variance do start to collapse a little bit, though. Malik takes down Jay Lucky, and very quickly find ourselves in a 4 versus 3, favouring Variance, make it a 2 as Zist finds another.
So he's gone pretty much exactly as planned, although... Oh, I was going to say, Roldini was going to get that kill, maybe not get that kill, miss that. The P90 does still a bit of a weak damage at range, just has a very nice and thick magazine, as you can see. Roldini has 51 bullets in that first one. Oh, this is a clip. Actually, I think the P90 counts as a clip. Cannon Try on the first floor trying to get in this fight. He can't land the shots, neither can his opponent. Both of them have to back off. If Cannon Try can be isolated, it's a 3v1 on site. Sorry, 2v1 on site.
Look, 3 versus 2. Cannon and Roldini hold strong. They are looking for some kills. Roldini takes a lot of damage with the stim pistol handy. Will be able to put himself back up to full health right into the fight once more. Cannon will go down elsewhere, though. They're starting to collapse onto the position of Roldini. They know where he is, given his spray from just before. He peeks on out, does get the down onto the first. One more stim pistol left to work with, so he can return himself back up to full HP once more before he looks to re-engage here. But at the bomb going down, Strike will get the plant off. The cross held by Zist. He does get spotted out, some damage dealt, but he does get the down onto Strike. This could be big. Roldini's on for a 4K here. If he can find the last player, Zist, now the last alive, in a 1 versus 1, and for Variance, this could be a huge throw. If Zist doesn't connect, and he won't. Roldini's managed to win it with the stim pistol. This is why Doc is absolutely insane now. It's a quad round number 1, and Obsession go up 1-0 off the beginning.
Poorly played from the attackers over here in the post, but Roldini, of course, full credit to him. This is what we expect from Roldini. This is a man who has played in the big leagues in Apex South with Q-Confirm in the past. Now Fury, of course. This is what you expect. This is the level of play, the game sense, and just the aim as well. The calmness under pressure that you would want from them. Millimo is having really good time enjoying that first round clutch. They know they got away with that one. Tactically, they were outplayed. Cannon Twy isolated on the first floor, barely had any impact, even though we had, Zist coming up from the basement and taking up a little bit of his time. It was better late than never, the rally from Roldini, and of course, as you said, it's just the stim pistols coming in so massively clutch. It's a good fight back from them, and nothing more to say. Variance just let him take the 1v1s.
Look, overall, the fact that the stim pistol came in as big as it did there just highlights why Doc is absolutely insane now. Not only does he get the bailiff to sort of help remodel the sights on top of the stim pistol, but the fact that he can take 3 gunfights like that, as provided they don't hit the headshot, he can just bang straight back up to full health with an overheal, bang straight back up to full health with an overheal. Every single time. You put a Rook armor on top of that as well. Not only does he have the self-revive, he also has the stim pistols. He also has the extra 20, 25 health or whatever it is that the Rook armor gives on top of that with an overheal. I mean, it is kind of insane to sort of think that you can tank 4, 5 fights before you actually even have to worry about being low on HP. And there you go. 4 kills right there for Roldini. Highlights exactly why Doc is in a great spot right now and why he's actually a viable pick. So good for Obsession, unfortunate for Variance. A little bit cleaner on those post plans, and we might be on for a good game here, but with Jay Lucky opening it up onto Peter, it's not the greatest start.
Yeah, Peter, we highlighted earlier on, the man that we want to be watching out for. Cannon Twy goes down on the side of the defense. A disappointing start for him in these first 2 rounds. Not really had any impact, despite being on the roaming aggression roles. He needs to be getting kills or wasting time. We have said this, we've seen this time and time again. This is how roaming really works in Rainbow Six Siege. It's not changed since roaming became a thing in Rainbow Six Siege. So him being 0 and 2, not offering any resistance or impact in these rounds. Of course, if, in stats tracking, the KOSD will take a hit, that's not going to be a good sign.
No, it isn't. A 4 versus 4 is definitely doable variance after they should have won that first round, but unfortunately didn't. Roldini holding strong inside of the library here, looking to at least find one before he's pushed out. But, I mean, losing the line isn't going to hurt too much here for Variant X. It doesn't take off much of their utility. Maybe a gone 6 if they're unlucky, but other than that, you know, not really too much has been lost here as they look to sort of move towards this top blue position.
3 versus 4, Roldini gets 1. The Frost has been brought out, and 2 kills for Roldini. Frost using her 9mm, where her, traps are not connecting just yet. Malik goes in. No damage done to him. He knows exactly where the player he's fighting is. Gonna try and take down the shield. Fails at it. Gets down himself. The support is coming from Killers. He's gonna get revived.
Was it a team nade?
I don't think so. I think he was just shot. He tried to...
It might have been his own impact that downed him.
Yeah, potentially. Might have missed that one. But they're stuck here.
Whatever it was.
20 seconds left. And they can't progress. They are no way getting onto site.
Yeah, no, especially with that shield still up. Nate does come out to attempt to clear it. They make their way into the hallway. They find the first. The trade's instantly there from Millimo. They're looking for more, but Millimo's good for both. Obsession, locked down, and double down for 2 of their own. A possible team down there. But regardless, the round is won by the Malusi at the top of the library stairs and Variant X. It's not looking good, Infian. It is not looking good at all. They go down 2 in the first, but it hasn't even really been that close. Yes, the first round was a 1 versus 1, but I mean, let's be honest. Obsession were all over it. Even with it looking as close as it did, I had no worries.
Roldini, of course, been the star of these first 2 rounds. We waited so long for him to kind of wake up, even against opposition that is on his level. Obviously, we say the teams that are in Apex South are obviously going to be able to isolate him and prevent him from playing well, but he's not performed even against the teams in like the bottom half so far in the past games. So the fact that he is performing right now is a very good sign. As you said, Obsession have been making these improvements slowly. It's better late than never, and they always have next season to kind of bring the fight to these top level teams and try to become one of those top level teams.
Yeah, they are gunning for one of those top spots. I mean, we talked about it. They want to be the next champion. Give them a couple seasons, let them have a go, let them change some strategies, maybe make some roster swaps, and then sort of send them in from there on out. They are a team that has the capability. We've seen it day in, day out. I mean, look at Roldini, 6-0 right now. Like, they've got players like Roldini, they just need to enable it.
Canum's now on the dock. They're like, yeah, you can't roam, dude. Just stay on site and heal yourself when you take damage.
It's very.
This might work out. I'm in favor of this. A lot of times you have roles very set in for the teams. You have teams that are unwilling to sacrifice some other players. Roldini gets a freaking knife kill. I have to assume that there was a missed drone somewhere. Jump out coming in, Silence gets 1 onto Malik. That's using the alibi as intended. Cannon Twi just chilling over here. He won't die. He won't be the opening pick and might get an impact in this round. And I'm a very big fan of this from Obsession. They recognize that Cannon Twi is struggling. They know that other people can swap around. It might be like a efficiency hit for example, for Silence and for Roldini. Roldini and Silence are like, okay, we can handle this. And if it helps Cannon Twi stay alive and get this kill onto Zist, win-win-win. And it's certainly looking like a win for Obsession. They are going to complete this gauntlet of bomb sites here on the defense, all 3 of them. And Variance are just unable to get in the building.
Yeah, they're going to hit the 3-peat and look to possibly even go further than that. However, if they keep feeding Peter kills like that, it'll be on as fast as they would imagine. Another freebie there for Variant X. Strike finds Silence as rotate away after the peak, but fortunately for them, he's fast on the trigger and will take him down. Now, Obsession have lost 2. They lose their decent advantage that they had. Peter does hear the player walk away towards bathroom, maybe looks to jump in, but a 2 versus 3 with these 2 players left alive is definitely very doable. However, the site is downstairs, and they don't hold any control on the top floor whatsoever.
Cannon Twi getting that kill is not going to help out either. Peter goes down, Strike tries to get the kill onto the Jaeger, misses, and then Cannon Twi cleans up. What a way for him to, come back after a very disappointing first 2 rounds. He's found his groove now, found his confidence at least a little bit. 3 kills for him in this round, and Obsession further this lead. And I don't know, Proto, but this is like the time where I'll be thinking it's time for like a tactical timeout, and I think that's what happened. Not sure.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
looking like
not.
something has been called. I don't know if it's tack time
Just ask,
or
just ask for a pause.
or if it's a like a technical
Okay,
timeout.
it's
There we go.
technical.
We just have the confirmation. So there might be an issue. We might be experiencing some desync or something. It's a bug that's been going around at the moment. So I mean, whatever it is, I'm sure that it will be dealt with very quickly, or at least we hope it's dealt with very quickly. We want to get back into the action of this, but I guess this serves as a good thing for both teams. Obsession get to have a short chat about what's going on and what they're liking and what they need to keep doing. But Variance are getting a very sort of somber moment for themselves to sort of go, guys, it's what we need to be doing, albeit it doesn't actually look like they're talking too much at all. But they should be. They should definitely be talking about what is happening right now, because Obsession are dismantling them at every seam. I mean, that 1v1 was the only round that could have been theirs. Everything after that, Infian, has just been a one and done. Thank you very much. We'll be taking that from here. And that's arguably how it has played out in these last 3. So technical timeout will suffice, and we will move back into the matchup, scheduling as usual. 3-0 up, Obsession lead. Variance are yet to find any type of momentum, which at this point in time is not good at all. They need to at least find a round or 2 here. Keep in mind, on an attacker-sided map as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, we've been criticizing like a lot of mistakes that Variance have been making and just lauding the praise on Obsession. We have obviously, we mentioned it at the start, but we haven't mentioned it since until you did it just now. The elephant in the room. This should be advantage Variance in most of the ways. There are lots of windows, lots of entry points, lots of vertical nades that can be brought in. Just a lot of variation that can come in. That Variance should be bringing, which is ironic because their name is a variation of variation, and that's exactly what we're not seeing from Variance. Obsession are just rolling them, and credit to Obsession. This is the level that we expected from them the moment. Well, at the start of this year, we saw this roster. Canon Toy, ex-Elevate Academy, Excelsior Onyx, who played in the Apex South relegations in 2020. J Lucky and Roldini, formerly Q Confirm. Silence, Sharper Esports, who was in the Apex South relegations last year. This team should be mopping the floor. This team should be at the level of champion. They haven't been all season. They are looking like it right now, 3 rounds in.
Yeah, Obsession looks like they are sort of picking the pace up a little bit, I guess we could say, Infian. Overall, they have sort of improved. Well, yeah, at the end, it's always when it matters, right? Like, you start showing off what you can do, then you might get picked up in the off-season by a team, or the changes required. Players are like, these guys actually look pretty good. If they hit you up, you might go trial for them type thing. So I don't know. If it has just come late and they are sort of finding their stride only now, it's a bit of a shame. If they'd found that maybe halfway through the season, we could see a different top 5 possibly. But given that it's now, it's not going to be too much. It isn't going to come to anything for them. Killers opens it up with one on the Roldini, though. So Variance in the driving seat, the trade instantly there. I mean, Obsession, they have been on top of this back and forth game so well in this matchup.
Yeah, almost make me wish that CGG did stats for this. Obviously I'm pro CGG, but at this point I really want to see the stats from both of these teams and how the impact is going. I know that we have some stats over there, but they're not that in depth because this matchup versus the rest of the season, Roldini stats, Obsession stats overall, you highlighted this perfectly. I think on KOST every single player except for Canem Twy will have close to 100%. Who's been very strong from Obsession so far. J Lucky, I'm sure he's going to be safe even though he's full flash. He has the Clash supporting him, and that's a freebie for him. Malik just being extremely poor, very naive in that peak. Silence gets another for him as Strikes takes down Miller. Canem Twy pushing out ahead. He's been swapped over on these more support roles, and he is excelling so far. 12 from J Lucky though goes down. Someone's in sight behind him.
Yeah, get the down on the strike confirmation here. Triple for Canom, even though he has been on the clash, and he's got 2 teammates down. It is going to be Peter in an attempt to try and make something happen, but Jay Lucky will be able to revive himself with the Rook armor. There you go. The first self-revive I actually think seen has worked. And he's got it off. He's managed to hit the self-revive there. There you go. The Rook change coming in huge. He would have won that regardless. He was the clash. There was like 10 seconds left. You just zap them. They can't catch up to you. Thanks for the round. But regardless of that, there's a kill. There's a kill in it there for Jay Lucky. And you get to see the Rook self-revive coming in clutch. So I'm actually kind of happy. I haven't seen that yet. Well, I've seen the animation on the release announcement that they made for it, but I haven't actually seen it in a game do anything relevant. So there you go. There's a first for everyone and a first for everything. But overall, I mean, a good round. It came down once more to a 1 versus 1. But again, I think Obsession were largely in the driving seat of it. I wasn't worried for a second that they were going to lose it. Yeah. And they go up 4-0. Again, attacker-sided map. Variant X, come on, guys. You're going to need to get something before the split.
This feels like the variants that turned up in the 7-2 you highlighted on Oregon photo. It looks like these guys are just, I don't know whether they're mentally checked out, whether they don't care, whether they are like, Sunday night. I truly don't understand what it is with them. They just don't turn up every now and then. And it's obviously been to their detriment. Usually they try. Today it's... I assume they're trying, but it feels like the way that they're playing... I don't want to be rude and assume it, but it looks like they're not trying. Because this is poor for their standards.
I definitely expected more from Variant X in this matchup. I do have to agree with you. You know, being brutally honest, I expected a lot more. Given that they have had arguably a better season than some of the bottom end leaderboard teams. However, Obsession, I guess, are proving us that there's still some fight left in the old dog, and they are looking to continue giving that fight out. They do try to burn this ADS here. The player in the corner is going to be forced away. However, downed will be Malik from, I believe, a Nitro from below, something along the lines of... no Nitro, sorry. I don't know how he was down. Must have been caught there just as he was trying to jump in or something. But it is going to be the player at main door who does take a lot of damage, but Zist, he flicks and connects. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Variant X, though, they are losing bodies quickly.
Surprises there. J Lucky again going for another. They should be able to get it. And we don't have Rook Armor or Doc this time around from a session. I think this is the first round Proto that we haven't seen. But it doesn't look like they need it, which is hilarious because they're just confident now. They can make this work no matter what happens. Silence gets full flash, but I think he's going to retreat down the stairs successfully. The push isn't aggressive enough and it's too late this time around. Silence takes down Strike, but Sith gets double before he gets stopped. Jay Lucky with a double himself after recovering from the flash. Good attempt from Variance to kind of claw this back, but the timing was poor on the pushes from them. It just was sloppy. It's the kind of stuff that I see in like solo ranked. I've seen unironically like diamond ranked or like champion ranked teams, ranked stacks that are more coordinated than that, and that's a worrying sign because Variants are underperforming today. Significantly so.
Yeah, look, these rounds are just nowhere near each other. I mean, the fact that Jay Lucky was not only full blind that round, previous round he was full blind 3 different times and not killed once. That round is full blind once.
Wasted.
Bang, he kills the first person, flicks to the right, kills the second. I mean, there is genuinely no point of contention here from Variant X. I mean, look at the kills. It mirrors that. Everyone is on 2 bars, this who's on 5. And that is it. I mean, Roldini and Silence put together pretty much have the same amount of kills as everyone on the other side of the leaderboard. So it is a completely different game. Variant X don't even really feel like they're here. It is just Obsession Town all over. And we said that this was going to be a lot closer than it was, but Infian, it definitely isn't shaping up to be that way. It's looking like Obsession are going to wipe this and have a possibility of wiping this at a 7-0, 7-2, you know, margin.
Yeah, Obsession final up, and this is a statistic that applied in Stage 2 to top-level teams across the world, but I'm just going to trot it out because it still has relevance here. No team recovered on Chalet when they were 5-0 down, whether you were on the attack or the defense. It just never happened.
I didn't. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of trolling going on, and I can't really blame them. Obsession are having an easy breezy game. Like there is genuinely nothing that they are having to worry about right now. They've got the Clash on. Canom's already shown that he can do big things on it. He found a 3K in the round with the Clash. I mean, defaults up here. Look at the mistakes being made right now by Variance. You've left the top library camera up. That is like Siege 101, shoot the default. Like, I see security cameras in public and I feel like I have to get rid of them. But these guys are just choosing to leave them here with
They're in the heads.
No real worry. Yeah, like, there is no concern for danger right now. And they are all on yellow ping. And there you go. J Lucky's found a freebie. I mean, Variance are doing it to themselves at this point.
Yeah, they are in their heads and they haven't thought about, as you said, about the default cams, but they also haven't thought about any concrete game plan on how to deal with the Clash. Because the Clash is just finding no pressure on her right now at all. She is doing whatever she wants, giving the information that she wants. But they are actually having a plan this time around by pushing directly onto the site. They have the man count advantage. One player left on top. The long angle, though, is going to be all that Silence has as he's the only one left.
He's got a Nitro, so he can deny plant here. He will connect onto Zis. That was a nice shot, but Killers from distance with the DMR, he finishes the job. Locks it out for his team. And look, that is one of the better rounds from Variance, but it came too late, unfortunately. 1-5 on the split. Hoping for the 6-0, they didn't get it. Obsession were close, but regardless of that fact, it took Variance 5 rounds to get something that, let's be honest, could have been clutched there by Obsession quite easily. Silence was going hard with the TC there. He still had a Nitro to play with as well. He kills that sledge, moves into the half wall, Nitros over, takes out Lion. You're instantly in a 1 versus 1. I don't know. A little bit closer than it should have been, I think, given that Variance had 4 people left alive at the end of that round. But hey, they found a round before they went on the defense. So now the question will be, can they find any more? Obsession are locking in a Monty from round 1 here. Canom, eager to continue with the shield play. They do have Malusi, they do have Frost, and a Rooney in an... I don't know if they're expecting the Monty, but even then, they do have good utility to deal with the Monty. No C4s, they do have a smoke though. No impacts either. But I think when you got this much utility and Monty's in play, I don't think you really need a Nitro or impacts or anything. You do have a lot of direct denial, but they're going to switch off it anyway. So everything that I've just theory crafted is worth absolutely nothing. Cheers, Obsession. Appreciate it, guys. You'll be hearing from me on Twitter. But look, 2 rounds away from possibly winning it right here.
I just want to say, we pointed out that Roldini was 6-0 in 2 rounds, as Milomo takes down Killers very easily. Roldini hasn't had much of an impact since then, but J Lucky gets this. He didn't need to kill anyone after the second round. He got the 6 kills, and after that he's been 2 and 3 since, because the rest of his team has been carrying through Variance, as they already have 2 players are already down. Malusi Frost gone off the board. Malik trying to make this roam happen. There is a yellow ping. Don't think they are aggressive enough. They're not confident enough to act on it as well. And they might not even be polished enough to act on it yet. The information might be imperfect.
Well, they don't need to, right? Any team right now would be droning the site. They'd be going, hey guys, one guy spotted on site. No one else is around that can be seen. Main stairs flank is covered off and actually wiped off the face of the earth. Main's clear. The call now should be, guys, run onto the site. Let's go. Peter, unfortunately, is a lot sharper than J Lucky had assumed. Milimo does go down as well. However, Peter traded out. Milimo isn't completely finished off, which means that he can get back into the fray. But Obsession, they get the diffuser down. Strikes in a 1 versus 3. The call was made. They just collapsed onto the site. Varian X had to play back into the retake, and Obsession were there waiting for them perfectly. Bomb going down, cover was there, crosses were held. It's match point for Obsession, Variant X. Leaving a lot for us to desire here in the casting booth. We expected a whole lot more, but unfortunately we're not getting it. We are getting it from Obsession though, which I do like to see.
Yeah, these two teams are only separated by 2 points, and it is Variance who is in the lead right now. They need 1 point to stay ahead of Obsession in the standings come the end of the day, but, you know, Obsession have 5 match points to play with to prevent that. So it's going to be tough for them. Only Zist has been up there in terms of getting the kills, 6 and 7. The rest of his team, -2, -3, -5, -3, you know, reading from bottom up to top, whereas the worst players on Obsession are at worst even on 0, and then you have +5, +5, +4 for the other 3.
Regardless of numbers, regardless of kills, I mean, look, this has been an absolute wipe. Obsession have just gone to town, and Variant X have got nothing to show for it at all. You know, 1 round at the end of their attacking half, which, let's be honest, they could have quite easily lost. I genuinely expected more, unfortunately, coming into this. But regardless of the outcome of this match, I don't think it really means too much other than, as we said, seeding, you know, who goes home and who has to re-qualify, who goes through into the second bracket side of qualifications. And if Session can find a game here, then good for them, you know, higher up in the seed. But Variant X, they really needed this to cement themselves in a good spot for next season.
5 versus 5 right now, not like the 5 versus 4 it says right now. It's a little bit of a display bug that has existed for a while against defenders. But the attackers are... Sorry, oh my goodness. In control. I almost got allergic to the poor play that Variance have been showing us. Monty, I think, seems to have identified where this player is instead of Bar.
Yeah, look, there's been a lot of questionable moments in this matchup. Even though it's been, well, actually, it hasn't really been that close, but still, it's...
Except for the first round.
Based on the first
6,
round, it was
yeah.
relatively close. But look, Obsession, they're making great time.
Where's the contention? They took Library like with no pressure put on them at all. Canon Toy walked up the main stairs. He's walking into sight. He's going to get this plant because he's a shield. He's going to bait out the smokes. There's no C4, nothing to deny this. And no impacts, as you said. Unless...
Malik takes down Millimo.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's happened, but either way, it's happened. Now, he doesn't have the diffuser. Canon actually can't actively go for the plan here. They will burn the Aruni Gate and maybe look to push someone out with the Monty, but it is Roldini who's going to have to go for the plant. They are going to force their way in using the shield. They do have the cover from Piano here. Roldini now planting behind the shield. The bomb is going to go down unless it's largely uncontested. The smoke into Piano does deny it, and there you go. It's going to go down without a hitch. Strike will find one, unfortunately. It's the headshot from Canon with the hip fire. J-Lucky as well to take out another. Roldini finishes off Zist, and just like that, Variant X, they are sent packing back to the drawing board at the end of their group stage, the final game, and unfortunately they didn't have too much left into them. A Monty in a 1 versus 1, you're not going to win that one at the end of the day. Roldini as well in the crossfire. I think we can chalk it up to a 7-1 Obsession victory.
Yeah, you know, even if Monty was the last one alive, Malik is not... Oh, okay. Canon Toy goes to the DM. I was going to say Malik is not an RX. He won't be able to get this, and it's GGWP. I have to highlight just how big that Monty play was. The synchrony with Roldini behind. It's so hard to know exactly where the player is planting directly behind you. You know exactly the positioning of him, where the defenders are trying to push in from, what angles they are covering, and you have to block all those angles. You have to potentially watch out for smokes, anyone making a flank or anything. That was perfect. They brought back from a 3 versus 5 because of that Monty play. I thought for sure the moment Roldini gets up, you know, he's going to get killed. But even then, Cannon White covered it, moved exactly in perfect sync with Roldini, which is beautiful to see. Even top-level teams, even major winning teams, sometimes aren't able to do this. Big improvements from Obsession. Sorry.
Very much so. No, you're right. I just do have to highlight. I mean, C's teams are just so proficient with Monty. I mean, Monty and Clash in SEA is just insane. I mean, we see it so many play days from so many of these teams, and majority of the time when Monty is bought, it's a round win, regardless of who else is brought along, regardless of what other control that there is. Monty is a difference maker when put in a good team. But another difference maker that you guys can make for yourselves, make sure you follow the channel Rainbow Six SEA, hashtag in chat, call your shots. We've got a few more of these coming tonight, so if you don't get this one, don't hesitate. There will be more in the chat throughout the evening as well. Obviously, don't forget to check out the Facebook page at Rainbow Six Siege SEA. Share, like, tag your friends, do everything, chuck a follow, and all the other stuff that the post says to do. Obviously, there's a lot more to win over there as well. 8 prizes to give away, including RAM, things like that. Lots of credits. So get in on it while it's still hot, and you can. Who doesn't love free stuff at the end of the day? So at the end of that game, unfortunately for Variant X, leaving us a little bit hungry for more, I guess we could say, Infian. We were expecting a bit more from them, but Obsession at the end of the day pleasing us with that overall play from them.
I have to say, this is the best Obsession has ever looked, and it's potentially because, they have finally got that roster together. We had until like 3 playdays ago, like Zephyr K coming in, a couple of playdays before Producer Boom was in. This roster, if Obsession doesn't get picked up by, like, their players don't get picked up by other teams, I think this roster can go really far. This can be like the champion of next season of Operation League. But that's it from this matchup, I think.
Yeah, overall, we are going to head to a short break, and we will be back with game number 2. So I'm going to return very shortly.
The faint buzz is a warning. It may be the last thing you hear. But I'm the last thing you'll see. here live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over.
Where you go? Where you go?
Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn.
What's going on?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
If I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't hold back, and having regrets, hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. We're one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
We close out match number 1 in dominant fashion, a 7-1 on Chalet, going in favour of Obsession, leaving us with a little bit of hunger for more, I suppose. Infium, we expected a little bit more coming from that matchup in terms of the rounds, but unfortunately not. Given it, we move forward to game number 2, which is hopefully promising to be somewhat more of a quick affair. Fury take on the Champion boys. Now, I mean, I'm expecting this one to be another quick one, 2nd versus 5th, but at the same time, I think Champion definitely have the ability to do a little bit more damage than maybe we're expecting coming into this.
Yeah, the reverse fixture was a 7-3 for Fury. It was played on Villa, not close whatsoever. Fury, of course, at this point, they were still finding their footing in Apex South. Like, they were looking good, but, you know, it wasn't like serious, you know, it wasn't coming to the end of the season for them. They were finding the footing here in the Operational League as well. They're kind of seeing where they could push. They were pushing for the top 4, top 1 actually at that point. Right now, they are locked into the top 4 no matter what happens, right? The worst they can go down to is 4th place. Champion, the highest they can climb is 25 points, which is still 5th place for them. They're not going to move. Fury have, obviously, this Thursday in mind. That is going to be one hell of a play. If they need to be tied, it should be a walkover kind of victory that we saw, like for example just now on Chalet between Obsession and Variance. So I don't know what we are going to see from Fury today. I truly don't know. Fury obviously don't really have much to play for here. They don't really, in my opinion, as much as I want to see a great game from them, I think they should just take it easy and just give whoever's watching the games, aka Tide, absolutely nothing to work with. Play whatever map you never play whatever operators you never play, whatever strats you never play. Just everything opposite from what you do.
Yeah, throwing something there interesting would be great. Fury, obviously, a roster that has done a lot of work in the scene so far. Unfortunately, dethroned as of recent. They had a good sort of run. Then it all sort of went a little bit the last couple of weeks. I don't know what really happened. Yesterday was a good showing from them. Unfortunately, it's into the Direwolves. They come into today. They're going up against champion. Crit J, probably one of the most scary players on this roster. He is boasting that positive, very positive KD. Look, theoretically speaking, as we've already said, Fury should be good to win this. The question will be in how many or how little can they achieve it. Champion are a team that has taken 5 rounds off the likes of Elevate. They have caused upsets previously, but I mean, we look over to Fury, who have Demonic coming in tonight and no I9. This might spell trouble given that I9 was such a pivotal player yesterday against the Direwolves. I mean, round 1, he clutches a 1 versus 4. Coming into overtime, he sends them on to overtime. I mean, look, with no I9, Fury, I don't know what's going to be in store for them here, but it's going to be a difficult one.
I think this is a good move from Fury. Dominic is their coach. If you guys were unaware, he is obviously not very high profile. That's why he has a recruit behind him, KD00. And just Fury haven't really done anything of note so far in their history to have Dominic highlighted. But now, he might be masterminding these guys to a major spot. They just have to, I think, outscore Gaming Gladiators on Thursday by like a point or something, which is a lot easier for them because Gaming Gladiators play Elevate, and that's obviously an Apex out thing. So swapping out your best player, arguably I9, and bringing in your coach, that is going to throw most of what Tide are going to be preparing for into chaos. And because Dom is not really going to be very proficient with the game and actually playing it, they might be making concessions for him just naturally, and therefore they won't be playing to their full potential, which also kind of hides what they can show against Tide.
Look, Tide is not who we're focusing on tonight. We've got Champion up against them, so hopefully Champion have been doing their homework as well. But similar to what you've said about Tide, Champion, they will have been prepping for I9. I doubt they've been prepping for I9 specifically. We do sort of say week in, week out that I9 is Fury, and I do have to sort of agree that they only started winning things when they picked him up. Before that, they were sort of one of the bottom end teams. They were 0 points. They went winless in APAC South. Pick up I9, and they actually had somewhat of a semi-successful season. So I9 arguably is Fury. It sounds weird to say, and people might argue, but this, but that. But no, I9, the experience he brought from Elevate single-handedly turned that roster around. Without him here tonight on a map like Skyscraper, which is one that I don't actually think we have any real VOD material for either. It's a map that is largely unplayed in a lot of leagues, given that it's new, but it's also difficult to play. There's so much room. It's an expanse of pure real estate. I mean, you've got 2 floors, and they're just so hard to clear well and quickly, efficiently. So many little corners, so many little things that you can miss so easily. And for a team like Champion that maybe don't have the best coordination, that could lead to big openings for Fury. But similarly for Fury, without I9 on the board, Champion could take hold of this and just go to work on them on a map like Skyscraper.
The last time they played, it was on Villa. It was not close, as I said, 7-3. Just Fury, I've been looking through, and they have only played in Operation League the Skyscraper map once. And that was a 6-8 loss to Direwolves. Outside of that, they have just been completely uninterested in it. And as you said, that is going to prove a lot of difficulty for Champion to kind of figure out which angle Fury are going to be attacking this from, or defending it from, when they go onto the defense. Skyscraper generally heavily defender-sided, is not a map, as you said, we see a lot, which just plays into that defender aura a little bit more, because then attackers are like, okay, well, I'm not too familiar with the angle that I'm going to be pushing into. I'm not too familiar with the most efficient way of like roam clearing, for example. And Champion are going to have to do a lot of work still to beat Fury, even with their coach playing.
It's a big if. I'm assuming Demonic coming in. Demonic as a player is probably very proficient in his own sense as well, but I do have to imagine that Dominic will just be chucked onto something like support. Fury taking out Maverick, though, they are starting on the defense side, so you can't really blame them. It's the better side of the two, and Maverick on a map like Skyscraper is imperative. So having him off is going to make things a little bit more difficult, but with obviously the introduction of the Impact EMPs, it sort of changes how that ban works out. I mean, you can just Impact EMP, chuck a Thermite on the wall. It's the same thing as having the Maverick, if not more efficient. Thatcher goes, but again, those Impact EMPs sort of negating that ban as well. Possibly a little bit of a waste. We've left Jackal up. We've left operators like Knock up. Knock on this map is going to be absolutely insane, provided she's played. Defense side of things, honestly, Valkyrie's army.
Yeah, likely we're going to see that. We saw Oryx's army the last time out these two teams played. Yeah, there we go. Champion banned out Azami the last time, and it was Fury with the Oryx, obviously with the Montagne in their minds. Thatcher was also a Fury ban, this time is a Champion ban. Obviously, you have some adjustments made from the different maps. That was Villa, this is Skyscraper, but I still wouldn't be surprised to see Oryx come out. No, it's going to be an Ella. Oh, goodness. It's such a confusing ban. It was such a rare ban to see. It's not, 2018 anymore.
Have Champion played Ella? Have Champion played Skyscraper this split?
Yeah,
period?
Once. Yeah,
and did they lose? They lost, right?
No.
They won.
They beat Elevate 7-5.
Oh, okay. So the Elevate game, that Ella ban has merit.
But they started on the defense. They went up 5-1 and they kind of struggled in the second half until they just hung on in that matchup.
Regardless, it's a win.
Yeah, it's still a win. But it'll be a different kettle of fish when they have to make the comeback, as I assume Fury will take the lead.
If they were dominating on the defense,
yeah,
and Ella was a part of that strategy, that's why she's gone. Obviously, I don't have the VOD on hand. I don't actually think I was there for that matchup, so I can't off the top of my head say, yes, Ella was a thing, Ella was a that. But given that it's banned out, it's probably something that Fury are aware of that we are not aware of, and something that they aren't interested in versing whatsoever. Probably the shotgun, if we're being honest. Ella shotgun at the moment, extended barrel, even a suppressor, you chuck something on it with a laser, and it's unfair. We call it the skill cannon for a reason, because there's no skill that is required to use it. You just point and click and everyone stop.
Yeah, I'm looking at the VOD just flying through the rounds right now, and Crit J used that Ella on defense to devastating effect against Fury, so your prediction was exactly right, Proto. This was an operator that took down Elevate, and Fury are just like, yeah, whatever. Crit J, you're not going to be allowed to do that.
Yes, well...
On one.
Not too much going on at all, other than this opening gunfight here, like Collis is trying to take one of the champion guys down in the opening moments, as well as keeping Hajime alive, obviously, with the cross. Nitro comes out early. Unfortunately, is not worth anything for them there. But this setup at the top of Shrine is a little bit interesting. There isn't any utility. I mean, there's no nades being thrown, there's no ADSs, there's no cover, but they know that there's one close, and they just haven't been able to clear him out. Fury... I don't know how they're getting away with this, but Champion, you need to be doing something about what's going on right now.
I often wonder what goes through the heads. And, obviously I'm only speculating and combining with my own experiences, but it often seems like they are scared at these points. Or being patient as Salodic takes down Lycolis, who gets antsy and peeks on out. There is a trade elsewhere. Crit J goes down, that's a big kill. He's been leading Champion in terms of frags. Hajime... oh, that nade isn't cooked, and he gets away with it, barely any damage. I think the nade hit him in the face. That's what did the damage to him. But he gets away, and that's a little bit of a missed opportunity from Ledge of Solodic.
Look, regardless of, they come out on it a 4-4. The trade was there. Dark is on the run out. No one there to collect it. And regardless of that, Fury, I mean, they're just waiting, and that's all they really have to do. Champion are taking their time here. They are going to open up with one. Solodic finds that kill. However, traded by BG Man there. Takes him down straight away. Hajime does take some good damage too here, but Champion, they only have 40 seconds left. It's going to be difficult. The nade doesn't connect. Dominic finds one, takes down Parrot. His first kill for Fury in this matchup. Firelord does trade it on the Hajime. It's a 2 versus 2. It's coming down to time. 30 seconds. They look to enter into the site. Demonic gets the down. The extended barrel SMG of all things on the Labyrinth. It's the confirmation as well there to come out. Now Firelord, the last alive, he will get the first.
Dominic!
It's all up to the super sub. He needs 3 in his first round for Fury here. Will he find it? Possibly. Spots the player, spots the head, doesn't connect. Has to rotate away. Looking for this gunfight. 10 seconds remain. He's opting to hide. Shotgun not in hand. It would arguably be the better choice here, but it doesn't matter. He's just going to play for time. Firelord's inside of the side. He's not going to connect the shots. Dominic's going to win it on a 3K for himself. His first round filling in for Fury, clutched up huge.
The coach, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, this is the worst situation to be in. Out of touch, You play ranked with the boys, of course, but, the ranked is one thing. Playing against, an Operation League team that's seasoned. And in 5th place, fairly close to 4th place, that's another. But he absolutely holds his nerve. As you said, brings out that ballsy SMG-11 and extended barrel for the maximum damage across range. Gets 3 kills, including a 1v1. BG Man going down, I thought that was it, They knew where he was. They knew where he would rotate into. There was only one place he could be, but brings this back to that first engagement that we saw with Lycolis, for me, at least. That's what I'm thinking over here, is that Champion just gave Fury a little bit too much respect. I don't know about you, Proto, but it's like when you are ranked and you're kind of not feeling that confidence, and you don't take those gunfights as aggressively as you usually do. That's what loses you the rounds. That's what loses you the gunfights. When you hesitate, when you don't go in with the full confidence. Conversely, when you just jump in with a little bit of info, that's when you find yourself actually maybe counterintuitively getting kills. And Champion maybe just lacking a little bit of the confidence. I'm not too sure, but a couple of those engagements looked like it. And often, these lower tier teams end up playing into their own heads against these Apex South teams.
Yeah, look, I dug it up to ranked gameplay, given that it's tier 2, but...
the mentality that you have, you're a bit scared, you're giving too much respect to the opponents, and you're not confident in your own abilities. Even if it's blind confidence. Speculation, of course.
Regardless of the ranked analogy, we are diving into round number 2 here. Champion, again, taking their time. Fury punished them in that last round. They do need to be scared, but it's going to be Champion who kick it off with the first. Arc goes down elsewhere, not on screen for us, but that didn't seem to bother Fury too much last time. They did lose the initial pick, and it was then bought back by the remainder of the roster. So, Champion, they've done well to start it off, but can they double down and find some more?
Good start, untraded. Fury on the back foot right away. Dark going down. One of the mainline players, of course. Not a great sign. If it was like Dominic, it would be different. Gets worse, like Olis. I think we saw on the KD figures earlier on, one of the better players. Oh, Dominic goes for a really aggressive kill. Doesn't get it and gets killed himself. Labyrinth is the one who takes him down. The side is below, I believe. No, it's here, upstairs. Lots of unreinforced walls over here that if you get info on, will absolutely punish you. Hajime does some damage, gets down, that's what happens. It's a 1v5 for BG, man.
Look, for Fury, it's going to be difficult. He does find the first, but not the second. Crit J there with the supernova to lock it down. We saw this yesterday for Champion. They were using these suppressed shotguns to great efficiency. And for Fury, look, maybe not expecting something as aggressive as that. They go down one round again early in the game. You can't say too much, but a 1-for-1 trade off the bat is pretty decent, especially on Skyscraper. You know, it's been played once respectively that we can see by each of these teams in this league itself. With Champion actually a quite large victory for themselves on this map. So you could imagine that it's one that they are largely proficient on and one that they are quite comfortable playing. Maybe it fits their playstyle more than consecutive maps played like the clubs, like the Oregons. Not too sure if it's something like that maybe that plays into it a little bit. But overall, Fury, given the experience, should be a lot more comfortable. Yes, they're missing I9 tonight. That will definitely be a big issue. But Dominic's already proven in, one round that he can already fill those shoes pretty well. He was one off making a 4K clutch himself. I mean, look, he's done really well for a coach coming in on his first game that we've seen from him in OPL. So, Champion, you got to keep an eye out for that.
Well, moving on. Fury have two experiences on this map, just to actually close out that discussion point. Both of them against Direwolf, one here in the Operation League on play day 6, and then one in Apex South on day 1. Both of them 8-6 losses for Fury. And that's not going to help if Hajime is going to peak like that.
Yeah, I don't know what the play was there, but Hajime, he hasn't had a great game today as of just yet, which is unfortunate because Hajime usually has pretty good moments, albeit that was not one of them, unfortunately, for Fury. They do go down to 1, but at this point, it's not too much of a loss. They still hold good control over towards Exhibit, which Champion are now actively trying to remove from them.
Dominic still on 3-1. Not really had an impact since the first round. Only been one round after that, though. He is holding here alone in Geisha, or rather now as it's called Makeup Room. And bringing back the old call-outs by accident. Lyconis no kill so far is going to stay that way. Crit J, though, takes down followed by accident. The pinch was great, but Crit J's crosshair placement was a little bit too good. Dark piles on, Celodic goes down, and Fury suddenly in the man count advantage. Power yet to get a kill in this matchup, so he needs to perform here with Yosa. Has a good chance of doing so. Labyrinth's going to get this wall open into Makeup, and they have time to make this clutch happen.
Look, a 2 versus 3 for Champion is a very achievable feat, especially with Dominic and Dark both on low HP. A minute is also a time to make something happen. However, a Nitro in the hands of BG Man could be a large deciding factor if thrown out at the correct moment. But right now, they are taking their time. They're playing for the drones, and they're looking for the entry into Geisha.
Make it fairly successfully. A little bit of a misplay from the defenders until BG Man peeks in. He gets 1 kill on 2 Labyrinth. It's all up to Pawarit now. Pawarit went in. I thought that was a misplay from BG Man, but it's worked out well. He gets down. 1v2 for Pawarit now, but he only has 1 HP. Fury are converging upon him, it seems, or taking a little bit of better angles. He's trying to find his way in. Yeah, and get the kill.
There you go. You revive, you shoot, it could all happen. And ultimately, Fury, they're going to double down. They find themselves their second. Champion, unfortunately, not able to make it theirs. But that was still really close. In a 2 versus 3, they got 1 down, 1 dead. And overall, could have made it theirs. Just not in the cards, unfortunately, I don't think, for that round. But still, in saying that, you can't ask for much closer. They are putting in the work right now in this matchup, and it's pretty evident that they are making some pretty big plays up against a name like Fury. They definitely show some very proficient comfort on this map, and I'm not too sure if it's just the Skyscraper buff or if something genuinely is up for Fury, given that they do have Dominic playing. But regardless of that, Champion have been pretty close a couple of times, so this one is also a map that could even have some longevity to it, provided Champion can pick up a few more rounds before they go onto their defense.
One attacker repick coming in from Champion, and I don't know about you, Proto, but I've been fairly disappointed with the quality and the amount of attacker repicks that we have seen from Operation League teams, and just I don't know. It just seems like they're leaving a fair bit of strategy on the table. We have seen so many teams across the world say that this completely changed the game for them when it was introduced earlier this season. But it just seems like these tier 2 teams have an opportunity to strike harder, but they don't use it that often and not as much as they probably should.
Yeah, look, I mean, you look to Twitter and you see people like Pengu argue about how you can change your lineup to exactly fit and perfectly counter everything the defense brings, given that the defense don't get that repick. But I don't know. As you say, you know, we don't see too many of those 6 picks coming out from OPL teams, or at least in the OPL. And I don't know why, when you can sort of be perfect in every sort of choice of operator, why wouldn't you be? Especially if something isn't working, maybe try something else for a round, see how it goes. Either or. Champion, they're pretty comfortable, it seems, with what they've been bringing. So I guess you just got to let them run with it.
Hajime gets the first kill this time around. Pawari taken down. Bishiman with the M870, but Crit J brings his own shotgun to the party, and Bishiman can't get a second. Mankind advantage for Farlord. From Champion, sorry, as Farlord gets in on the party. Vertical angles being set up. That's what the Supernova was really for. Clearly confident in the sidearm bearing 9 as well. Once again, Dominic on this bomb site. He's going to have to come up big, because Lyko is surprisingly yet to get a kill. As I say that, he gets a C4 onto Farlord, brings it into a 2v2.
Doable with only a minute remaining. Dominic, however, through the floor taken down, leaving Lycolis in a 1 versus 2. Crit J to confirm with a shotgun, and it's now all up to the Cade. He will spot the head of the first, unfortunately not connecting. Spots the player in Dragon, some good damage dealt, but it's not enough to find a kill. Rushing on through, he takes a considerable amount of damage, and from his right, Crit J is there to close it down. The Supernova proving to be a very scary weapon in the hands of this man, because he is finding kills on kills. And for Champion, they find another round.
2-2. It's a good position to be in if you're a Champion. On the attack, 2 rounds. That's all they needed against Elevate back in, I forgot what played it that was. Played it 5. They started on the defense, went 5-1, then after that closed it out with 2-4 half on the attack afterwards. That's the minimum they've ensured for themselves right now against Fury. Fury obviously want the win. You know, it feels good to have a win. It feels good to build the momentum, keep the momentum. It's a little bit worrying for them if they want to push for this win really hard. If they don't care, then they don't care. Champion though, they're pushing for this off the backs of Crit J. And Pawari switching on to the Monty, I think, is a very similar move that we saw earlier on from Canom. Wasn't finding success on like guns or like fragging operators, so you go on like the... Well, my opponent's been just destroyed because he's going onto Twitch now and confirms that, so he's trying to hard commit to the fragging. Goes for an easy pick. Another spawn peak coming out.
It was an attempt. No kill though, unfortunately, for Fury. They were maybe hoping for a little easy sort of helping hand, but it was not given to them in this matchup. Champion definitely playing it quite smart. But again, I do think that this is a map that they are quite comfortable on, and how we ended up here. I mean, it was a choice for Champion between Cafe and Skyscraper. Why Fury let this go through, I'm not too sure. Early in the ban stages, I mean, they were banning maps like Chalet, Border, Oregon, Club. I mean, why would you not have banned Skyscraper? I'm not sure, but if you're Champion, I guess you're happy with how that veto turned out.
Yep. Definitely confident about it, and I think no matter what happens in the next 2 rounds, they're going to be okay. Solodic, I think that was a captured drone from Hajime that worked out in his favor. Well, not really in his favor, but you know, he dealt with it anyway. Pawart goes down, still unable to find a kill even on Twitch. Just not having a good day, but Labyrinth keeps it in the balance, gets Dominic as well, and there's a down from Critchy. Not gonna was a shotgun battle on the first floor. Lycole is under the pump right now.
Fury, I mean, I don't know what's been going on this defense. Whatever it is, though, it just has not been going in their favor at all. Hajime will find one, takes down Solotic, looking for more as he makes his way into Shrine. The yellow pings are there for him to play off of, but it's Lycolis from inside of the site who's going to have to go huge in denial here. Hajime finds another before he's finally traded out by Firelord. A nade to come deep here from the Yana will not deter Lycolis, who connects with a headshot onto Firelord, and now it's all up to Crit J, who on the vault up might be spotted here, and the shotgun at long range is not going to be beneficial for him whatsoever. But it's the expedition stairs. They're going to be the difference maker here. 50 seconds remain. He is on the yellow ping, spotted out on the drone. He knows that he's coming up these stairs crouched, looking for the head. He's hunting right now. The flashbang perfectly lands and blinds Lycolis there. Crit J is given the ability to push on up. He's just going to play for a highly aggressive shotgun push here. Wants to get in the face of Lycolis to use that supernova, but 30 seconds remain. I'm not liking the hopes here. If Lycolis can close it out from distance, he has the angle to play with. Does he know that he's on drone here, though? I think it's on the back side, towards the left, sort of. But Lycolis is doing so much damage right now, and there you go. He is going to win it for Fury. He closes it out with the AUG, but that was a little bit too close for comfort.
Wow, that was a praise and run across from Critchy that actually saw him get behind the bomb chassis. I think if he had just actually tried to start baiting out the plant, he had the time, didn't he, Proto? I thought that was the play, and I thought that was brazen, that was smart, but Lycole was just given a freebie. As you said, he just took too much damage in the crossover. Maybe he was hoping that Lycole would be surprised, maybe, by that weird run. Yeah, a little bit of a waste on those flashbangs, but we also can't really fault him for that because, well, those flashbangs came in from a far distance. You can't guarantee that Lycolis was flashed. If you try pushing a little bit too aggressively, shotgun or not, you might end up on the losing side. So you try to play a little bit smartly, didn't work out. It was a good attempt anyway.
Look, it was definitely a little bit too close for Fury there. It was sort of scary. However, Lycolis won it. At the end of the day, you know, those first couple of kills that he found were in that round, and those were the ones that ultimately worked out. So you do have to give him that. Made the best of his position and ultimately then walked away with the victory. But other than that, I mean, a lot is still desired in this matchup from both teams. They're still sort of both getting warmed up. And as I said, this map is a difficult one. And it is proving to be that for both sides.
Yep, hard fought. Fury need these. Fury need this. Oh, goodness. Tripping all over my words today. Fury need this fourth round to make sure that they have fighting chance in the second half. And that's a really good start. Hajime has been going for this aggressive plays for round after round after round, finally successful in a big way because he's taken down the Thermite, the only hard breacher on this team right now, and the diffuser carrier.
For Fury, that's a big kill to find. Thermite off the board early is always a great pick for any competitive team, especially when it's Thermite. Especially when it's Labyrinth as well, who's been having a great game, paired with Crit Jane Firelord, obviously. They have been largely the driving factor for Champion here. But Fury, I mean, they've set themselves up well with the kills that they have found. And now, as half the round has elapsed, they are definitely in a great position to make something happen for themselves here, provided they don't fumble the bag. An explosion there, I'm not too sure from what, possibly an Ash Charge or a Breaching Pack, but either or, Fury are looking to continue aggressing.
Lycole is holding down the fort so far. No further engagement since that first, 20 seconds? Engagement that they had. Hajime has a great angle over here. He's not getting aggressed upon from the window, which is going to give him a lot of freedom to operate just as Dark goes down. Salonic jumps in and jumps out. Gets that kill. Piece is out. Still a decent position for Champion, but they are quickly running out of time, and the longer these defenders stay up, the harder it will be for these attackers to push in.
Yeah, when they start trying to get into the site and they still have 4 players of Fury left to deal with, it's not going to be easy, maybe as easy as they would have hoped. But Hajime, those shots you've got to hit. Like Collis will open it with 1 onto crit. Salota can fire back with 2 of their own. Fury now very quickly lose the advantage that they so very hardly worked for. Parrot takes down Hajime as well through the floor. Through the side of the wall. Dominic now last alive in a 1 versus 3. Can he do it again here? He peeks on out from Geisha. Shots don't connect. The extended barrel maybe not working wonders for him. And unfortunately for him, he'll be caught by Solotic. A 3-3 split. Quite equal. Proving that no side's better than the other in this instance. And I mean, Champion, they now get defense. Fury could be thwarted here.
Champion in the driver's seat, undoubtedly at this point. Look, 4-2 half would have been good anyway for them, had they been on the losing side of the 4-2 half. They are evens with Fury right now, which, going into the defense, looking at their past situations here, when they played against Elevate of all teams, I know Elevate were weak at that point and, arguably have been weak all stage long. The fact that they won 5 rounds on the defense against Elevate, it's just doomed for Fury, I think. It would be an incredible comeback for Fury if they manage to make it work. Dominic hasn't gotten a single kill since that first round.
No, I know they haven't. And look, overall, I will say it's been difficult for both sides. Fury have had their great moments, but on top of that, Champion have also been doing their work, it seems, outside of everything, and they are putting in the time right now against Fury, who are seemingly actively struggling, and I'm not too sure if it is to do with anything that, as we said, I9 not being around, but they are bringing the Monty here. BG Man's jumped straight onto it. Now, I don't know if this is a comfort pick. I don't know if this is part of the strategy, but like Collis, he opens it up with the Glaz with 1 on the Labyrinth. That's a smoke gone early, and with Monty on the board, that's not who you want to be losing.
Labyrinth once again off the board first, but previous round, also a critical operator in the Thermite didn't really phase Champion that much, because they came in, swung in, got the kill, got the angles. Fury just weren't able to hang with them. They played it a little bit too passive from Fury. Let's see what they do this time around, though. Dark is piling on. Solotic off the board. Critchay and Fowler are the ones who watch, though. They are the ones who have been making pretty much every round happen off the backs of their double kills, triple kills, and stuff like that.
Look, with the Monty in play, it's going to be difficult. They do have the Oryx to make something happen, and Critchay is actually going to find 2 huge kills. Dark and BG Man go down, like Hollis there for the trade. On the Repellion, Parrot does spot 1 on the walkthrough. Dominic, however, isn't going to be taken down by that headshot from the SG-11. Diffuser on the floor, yet to be retrieved by Fury. That shield might be initially be covering the walk-up from Black there. I'm not too sure if that's client-sided for Firelord or if it's just on the observer view, but like Hollis on this cross holds such a big thing here for Fury. Hajime walks on up, takes down Firelord. Second, Diffuser to be retrieved in a moment and planted here by Hajime. Post plant now for Fury. Parrot's going to have to go big.
Yep, this has been a good attack from Fury over here. Might what you said is true, that it's a fairly even situation for both teams over here. Clearly Fury are proficient here. Yeah, at the moment he pulled out the shotgun, you knew what was coming. Great attack from Fury. Lycolis has to be given big props on that window. Got that opening kill. Stopped Critchay's rampage that was very much looking like would kill all the momentum that Fury had built up. It was a 3v5, and then Critchay just came in, took down the Monty as well as the Sophia just after I praised him for making big plays. This time around, Critchay's big plays weren't there. Second time so far in this matchup that Lycolis has been the one to stop Critchay's reign.
Yeah, Critchay has been one of the large driving forces for Champion, single-handedly pretty much actually. Overall, look, it has been difficult. He has been pretty much carrying the team through it though. Him and Firelord, a lot I could say, have been doing really, really well. But Fury, on top of that, the Monty that round, it didn't really hold too much for them. Let's be completely honest. That was the first round. I don't think Monty has had a great avail, but with Oryx on the board for Crit J, they basically have the perfect direct counter. So if Monty doesn't have that buddy system going on, he's going to be punished pretty much 10 out of 10 times. He did have the buddy system that round. The trade was there pretty much instantaneously, but for Fury, it was a little bit close.
Bring the Montagne again, BG Man. A little bit of a waste of his talents, I would say. Which game was I thinking of where he just absolutely went ham and saved Fury? I think it might have been an Apex South game. But regardless, this does seem, with Dominic in, BG Man and the Monty, it just looks a little bit like Fury are trying to throw up a little bit of a smoke screen against not only, the Apex South players on Thursday, but also against the Operation League teams that they will face the very next week from Friday onwards, right? I believe. Was it 29th? No, from Saturday onwards, that's when the playoffs start. When they don't really have much to look at on this skyscraper, when you see this coming out from Fury, it's going to be hard for them to analyze as well. So maybe Fury are looking at the long game here.
Possibly, but with BG Man taking damage like that, I mean...
yeah, that's like...
It's...
See, that's really amateur, and I don't know whether that's intentional. Maybe they are playing bad, but they haven't played bad so far this stage. Is why I would kind of lean towards the side of these guys and not caring.
Look, it's difficult. Fury are starting to collapse, though. They found some good kills. Parrot, though, does trade it back. They do have BG Man alive on the Monty, which means that he can still theoretically do some damage, but with 1 HP, he has to take every fight as if it could be his last moment. Those impacts are very scary. The Nitro from Parrot as well could be very scary, but Dominic going down and out from Solotic makes things a whole lot more difficult here for Fury.
3 versus 1, Powaret takes down BG Man, who has to go for the ADS at that point, really. And we are probably seeing Champion at this point run away with this. It's just not looking good for Fury. They took that first round, immediately Champion kind of clocked on what needs to be done, adjusted, and it was a dominant win for them. Just held on their angles, they backed themselves, they got the kills, a couple of them off screen a little bit frustratingly, so we couldn't quite see how they shaped up, but they're all performing well. Fury bringing the finger again. This is still a good lineup. The glass is very much meta right now in APAC, and the rest of this operator lineup is exactly what you want to be bringing for this site. But something just tells me that Champion are just playing this just the right way that they need to play to get this win.
Indeed, Champion are doing an absolutely amazing job with what they are doing. They're playing toe for toe with Fury right now, which, if I'm being honest, I don't think was expected at all. As we sort of said, that we did expect maybe a little bit more than required. Than expected from Champion, that being the 7-5, maybe a little bit further into the matchup. But right now, I mean, this could quite easily be overtime here if Fury aren't too careful.
Overtime's the least of their worries, I think. They probably are the ones who will be hoping to force overtime come a couple of rounds. Just that's my prediction over here. BGMF brought the Spaz 12 on this finger. I don't know whether it's the same logic that we saw from Crit J Supernova. Try and make this vertical angle from below, because BG Man is sticking below. No, he's going to come up. So maybe he's trying to take close range gunfights. Trying to fight Crit J, potentially, knowing that he has liked to play shotguns in the past. You don't, of course, know for sure what he's brought out.
The incandelas here are indicative of a possible jump in. Flashbangs as well. Double flashbang candelas now to come out as well. waiting for the vault here from Fury, but they are yet to commit. The diffuser's actually going down. Lycolis is trying to commit to it. However, is going to be taken out by the smoke there from Labyrinth. No jump in from BG Man. Surprisingly enough, Fury have faltered on this execute. The diffuser is down and needs to be retrieved. They also have this player in the small minibar here that they have to worry about, as well as the player in Connector, who might find the kill, but no, it's actually Labyrinth with the shotgun to connect. Fury, they are losing members left, right, and center. Dark will trade one back onto Labyrinth. The bolt in here from the Thinker as well will be drawing the attention for Dark to find the kill. The walk up there for a third. He's looking for a fourth. Another player's coming up. He is going to find the quad. He's on for all 5 as long as Firelord doesn't have something to say about it. However, we'll collect the Thunderbirds. Everything dies down for the moment. BG Man trying to be the one to draw the fire here for Dark to possibly go for the ace. He swings on round. Player not close to the left. Tucked in more to the right. Swings on out. Isn't going to connect with the initial shots. The diffuser now going down. Fury not wasting any more time. They're going to play for the post. Arguably the smart choice here as we go into the post plant. And Dark still hunting for this ace. He's not going to get it.
Unfortunate. Although, you know, I would say the think of BG Man should just sacrifice himself. He had that renal surge. Bring him back up. Let him go for the ace again. Round 2. But no, great recovery from Fury. I thought, you know, once they lost Lycolis on the plant, I thought it was sloppy. You know, in my head I was, you know, bringing up all those talking points. How can they try and stick this without making the legwork happen? The Thinker being up on the second floor doesn't seem very useful with the shotgun, etc., etc. But man, the Yana walked in, isolated those players away from the site, and just took each of them down. So well played. And that's exactly why they are being talked as one of the teams that could go to the Shrunk Open Major this stage. That's just proof right there.
Yeah, look, Fury, as you said, you know, there's a possibility of them going to the LAN. Champion, unfortunately, there is no possibility, but I guess they're just trying to be the thorn in the side and possibly ruin the hope. But they want to know how far they can go, essentially, is all that Champion are really trying to prove to themselves here. You know, what can we do damage-wise? And, like, just how far can they travel? You know, what traction can they gain in the scene? And so far, I mean, if they keep putting results up like this against teams like Fury, it's going to be a pretty substantial amount, given that, keep in mind, this was a team that came in through qualifiers, bottomed out in their first season, and then since then has made some great changes and gone absolutely insane in OPL.
Dark looking to replicate what he did in the past round. Dominic just walking around in tow. Firelord takes a lot of damage. That has to be from frag grenade? No, I think it's just that engagement both the frag grenades. Still with Dark and Lycolis. Solaric now on the pump. This is the position that Lycolis himself was playing. Fury are instead opting to commit one player on the window, I believe, to push this. Crit J doesn't need a shotgun to take down Dark, though. Shuts him down. No replications of that beautiful 4K in the previous round.
Great start there for Champion, taking down Dark, who had such a great round in the previous. It's going to kill that momentum for him a little bit. Now, Dominic, you just need to click once and you'll get a kill. I'm telling you, trust me. Unfortunately, he can't see what we can see. And he won't get that headshot through the wall, but the smoke starts to come out early to try and deny something.
Come on. Go for it.
I mean, yeah, open up the wall even with the ace. You've got an ace charge, right? But
it could actually be a good way to bait out the player behind the shield. I'm not even kidding. Like, you throw that Selma, you get yourself a kill. Likely, whatever you do, you know, it's like a win-win situation. Although he does that by just peeking it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you just peek on round and shoot for the right spot, you're going to find a kill. But unfortunately, not the second. Parrot is there to trade it back. Now, Champion do have two players on low HP, Solodic and Parrot. Carly comes on round. BG Man looking to trade it out with the CSR. Does have a decent sniper in this position, but the rate of fire might be the thing that does it here. Especially if Labyrinth chooses to peek from the left, which he definitely could, but the last 40 seconds remaining, Champion, they're in great positions, and Fury don't really have too much to show for this execute.
Looking a little bit sketchy for them. Down on the man count, down on the positions, down on time. Oh, this is gonna help though. Lycolis rushes in with the pistol, slams Labyrinth in the face. BG Man, one shot onto Pawaret. 2 versus 3. Tables have turned in just 10 seconds. Hajime is still so far away. He needs to come in, start having an impact.
Overall, it explodes for Fury. They find a good couple of kills, but Crit J takes out Lycolis. The diffuser now going down for BG Man. They need to stick it out here. Solotic comes on through towards Minibar. However, shots go towards him. They don't connect. BG Man takes a lot of damage for himself, but it's Hajime on the cross. Looking to hold on for himself here. The drone there gives him away. Hajime for the swing. He's there to confirm the headshot onto Solotic. The post plant's going great for Fury right now. They're looking to lock in match point, unless Crit J has something to say about it, but it's Hajime for both. He closes it down for Fury. They find match point, but Champion, they're still in it with a spark.
Okay, so at this point, color me officially surprised. I genuinely thought after the first half, even after round 8, that this would be Champions through and through. I just looked at the Elevate game. I looked at, the way that Fury did it. They were both these teams were relying heavily on the fact that Skyscraper is a defender-sided map. And they use that, not to say it's a crutch or anything, I'm just saying, it's just the advantage side. Just like in the previous matchup, we are talking about how Variance should have been using the advantage on the attack. Same thing over here. But both these teams have struggled more than we expected. And maybe that is because of the bans. Maybe it's the fact that Azami and Ella are not there. Maybe that target ban that you said, Proto, at the very first round, has affected Crit J more than expected. I know he's 12-7, but it just, it beggars belief that Champion are losing this on the defense. They've also lost 3 defensive rounds.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Champion on defense, they went 3-3 on the split, which was good, but they've only won 1 since on defense. And if they're going to want to be doubling down, they arguably need those next 2 rounds. I mean, well, let's be honest, they need those 2 rounds regardless if they want overtime and a continuation of the matchup. But the way Fury are playing it, they definitely seem to have found their stride and they're happy with what they're doing. The Flores now to come out as well to clear top black here. I mean, Fury it is business as usual. They are locked in, ready to go. And this one is, I think, safe to say, going to be a Fury round. And sorry, not a Fury round, but a Fury game.
Yeah, I think you have to say this round specifically. Dominic on the Thinker this time around. I don't think we've seen that before, unless my memory is failing me. BG Man this time dodges that smoke grenade really well. Goes and pushes for this player running away. Solotic is taken down as well. One player is going to come in. It's the RX diffuser on the floor. Crit J places perfectly second time around. He has given the Montania the run around and gotten the kill on the side especially. Big blow to Fury's hope. Dark gets flashed. Lycolis still gets Crit J though. I don't understand how.
The pop flash strat kind of worked, I guess. I mean, Crit J is forced away into the waiting arms of the player on the rappel. But, I mean, other than that, not too much achieved. Some good damage onto Dark. Fury, definitely the ones that, in terms of health, aren't looking the greatest. Lycolis on this window isn't exactly achieving too much other than locking down the cross, which is providing big leeway for his team. But the head spotted by Hajime, he takes down Firelord very quickly. Things are looking really good for Fury. They know the position of one of those other players now as he sort of pokes his head on round. Spotted walking into Geisha as well. As long as they can get into sight and start getting this diffuser down, they should be good for the victory here. But from behind, Hajime goes down to power it. Dark falls as well, and things very quickly go back in favor of Champion on the side.
2 versus 2, but that's going to help. Dominic gets a freebie over here. No idea where he was for Paware. Lycolis is still on this window. This is where he made the round win happen the last time out. But Dominic now, he is in a stress situation, just like he was in round 1. He came away with the 1v1 clutch then. It's essentially 1v1 because Lycolis caught himself in the cross trap and Labyrinth cleans up. Greatly played from Champion to rally back and force this to all 12 rounds here in regulation.
Can I just say, you're on rappel for the whole round.
And then you
Frost was being bought. You knew Frost was there. and you didn't check the bottom of your window once.
It's so easy to go upside down. It's really easy.
He was upside down the whole round,
Yeah.
or at least for a large majority of the start of the round. I mean, yeah, okay, sure. Fury arguably would have been their round, let's be honest, but unfortunately they just didn't want to think that hard. You can't really blame him, but he's getting late. But still, overall, a half decent start. Champion have managed to hold on for one more. They are looking to continue this into overtime, and I didn't expect this in the slightest. I was expecting this one to be a continuation. Thank you very much. See you later. But from what Champion have bought, I'm pleasantly surprised.
6-5. Fury maybe we're feeling a little bit of pressure now. You know, they are so close to the win. They had 2 match points to play with, squandered one already. Not to say that was for a lack of trying, but there was some sloppiness involved from a player who really should be doing better, like Hollis. Champion can continue to bring that Frost. Pritchard going to continue to bring the Oryx. This was not an option for Pritchard the last time around these two teams played. The target ban that time was the Oryx himself, and I assume that's why we saw a response from Champion to ban the Montani. This time out, Montani is on the board, Oryx is on the board. Both these teams are using that operator very much so, except for in this round. It worked out for BG-Man with the Kali last time out. Can he do it again?
He's looking to make it happen. Let's just say that. Now, Fury have already won this site. They've got good information here on the player at boost as well. The swing on round for the Twitch, unfortunately not connecting through the wall for Dark. He was hopeful, but unfortunately not precise enough. Overall, Fury, a little bit of a slower start, but I think they are expecting a little bit more from Champion here. They've got the momentum, they've got the ego to peak these things. I mean, we see the smoke in the last round, just sort of walking around, playing for those aggressive gunfires. Look, Champion, if any team can do it right now, it would be them to take it into overtime. And for Fury, they are genuinely quite scared. I mean, we look at the hesitance from them right now. Other than the rest of the roster pushing over from that other west side of the map, you know, from T over towards Shrine, everyone else is just scared and laying in wait for something to go down on that main breach, playing for that opening kill.
Definitely a little bit scary on that situation. Critchake gets the first kill onto like this big blow. Critchake gets a second, bigger blow. Critchake gets a third. It's the biggest blow possible. It's a flawless round. Followed, Labyrinth gets the final 2 kills. We are going to overtime.
Fury, what are you doing?
How did that collapse in like 10 seconds?
I just don't know what they're doing. I really don't. There's not too much to say other than at this point in time, Champion deserve the win. Because that
is it going to be another 8-6 loss for Fury on this map?
I can't. I don't know how they are losing these rounds. You've got all the info, you're playing the slow game, you know, and then Crit J finds 3 off the back of you standing there with your head in the crack of a door. I don't know what they're expecting on these kills. I mean, yeah, Fury moment, I guess. But Champion, they've gone 6-6. They're in overtime against Fury. I genuinely don't know what to make of this. It is not what we expected at all. And the fact that we are here... Yeah, right? Like, it was a 3-3 trade, both ways. And overall, I could argue that Champion have come out looking a lot better from that 3-3 trade.
Absolutely. They can definitely think of themselves highly. No matter what happens over here, they have beaten Elevate on this map. They have beaten Fury on this map. They are a skyscraper team at this point, I have to say. Oh, not beaten, they've taken Fury to overtime. Although they might well get the win against them as well. Crit J goes on to dock this time around. This is a different operator that he's been bringing out. You know, he's been mainly Oryx the past 6 rounds. This time he goes for the dock. Proto thoughts? Is this the time to switch operators? Or just, you know, stick with the dock. Yeah, but, you know, he's been having a great time on Oryx.
Yeah, it's arguably the same gun. but less recoil, right? Like,
Yeah.
the T5 and less fire rate, I suppose. The T5 and the MP5 are pretty much the same thing. I would say for ease of use, the kit that Doc brings is probably more useful, and Fury have opted to switch off the Monty, which means that Oryx doesn't really hold too much. And we look back at a lot of these rounds, the champion members on defense at the end of the round have all been on quite low health. Yes, they still win these rounds. I don't know how Fury are throwing them, but with the Doc in play, it's just going to accentuate that lead even more. You know, you can revive everyone up to full HP. I mean, Hajime, this is why you run in twos. Fury have got 4 on the other side of the map with no supporting drone work, and Hajime is taken out as a freebie with no possible chance of a trade in sight. Like, and there you go. Labyrinth back up to full health. I mean, this is exactly why the Doc's on the board.
Yep, and Hajime was doing the same thing in the first half, if you remember. He's going for a wild spawn peaks. Oh, okay, I thought that was an actual person. It was, actually. He didn't get the kill on that range like Colis. Not going down, BG Man dies in the frost mat. I don't understand how. Dominic's off the board. Yeah, this is looking all over, man. Poorly done from Fury once again. Just losing the plot on the attack. It looks so bipolar here in the second half, or rather, in the second half and now in overtime as well.
Firelord finds Lycolis, and I mean, for Fury, it is just in shambles right now. The thing is, as well, is even if they do win the next round and they go to maximum overtime, they are only going to have 1 round on defense, whereas Champion are going to be able to close the game out on defense. However, if Dark has anything to say about it, apparently, it might continue on past here. But the wall not opened up. 3 full health players from Champion and only 20 seconds left to work with. Dark's going to opt to rotate round onto Drum Connector. He's going to walk in. Labyrinth with the smoke clears it out, and Parrot finds the last. Champion are in the lead, Imphian. They hold the power right now in this game. I just genuinely don't know what Fury are doing at this point in time, because there's something going on, and whatever it is, it's just not it. Champion are looking to take another overtime victory against one of these big teams, and Fury are not going to be happy with that if that's the case.
Very, very bizarre. This is looking like a third Stage 3 Skyscraper 8-6 loss for Fury. 2 of them against Direwolves. This third one's looking like it's going to come against Champion. Champion, we talked them up a lot on Skyscraper. We got a little bit scared when Fury took that 6-4 lead. We thought, okay, well, Fury's woken up. They are looking good on the attack despite playing with Dominic. And then Champion just brought themselves right back, and that round 12 especially was such an emphatic way to bring yourself into overtime. The speed at which that round fell apart just felt like, you know, that's when Fury gave up mentally, or, you know, they just couldn't figure out. They've hit a wall potentially with how high they can fly with Dominic as a player. He's not been too bad, honestly. 5 and 9. It's okay. BG Pan 7 and 10. That's the one that we really should be looking at a little bit more, because he can do better. Hajime as well. He gave away like 3 kills for not much benefit. Great J just hasn't been able to be silenced. He's 17 and 9. Gets an ace this round. It goes to 22. That's in tier 1 play. This is tier 2, but in tier 1 play, that's the record, I think, right now, of most kills in the best of 1. 22.
Wow. Excuse me. That is a lot. Crit J's close, but
yeah, he might get it with the way Fury's playing. I mean, look at the way Fury are playing, yeah. Especially because
he needs an ace.
Yeah.
He needs an ace. Arguably. A 3k and a 2k is very doable, and he's actually found the first tier. Hajime goes down. Crit J is hunting right now for that possibility of the kill record. Now, Hajime being taken off the board is quite a large dub there for Champion, given that he is the top fragger right now for Fury, or at least was. Dark is going to have to take the torch here, and Lycolis might even have to step up, because the way that it's shaping up is Fury are looking like they are going to lose it here in overtime, unless they can do something pretty dire, because, I mean, it's not looking good. Champion definitely feel like the more dominant team right now.
A tough situation to be in. Absolutely tough situation for them. BG Man helps out, so Lodic goes down quickly, though. That's the man that you are looking for on the kill feed. Once you see that, I'm sure Fury will breathe a sigh of relief if they do that. But he's alive. He's got that supernova that has been devastating. He's got the Bearing 9. He's trying to push up these stairs with the flashbangs that worked out so well in a couple of these rounds. Great idea of when and how to use utility from him. However, it makes it 3 versus 3. 50 seconds left to go. Impact EMP disables that cam. It's looking good for Champion!
Oh,
BG Man peeks right in. 40 seconds. Champion are looking to make this close.
That's what you wanted. Lycolis to take down Crit J, though. And, oh my, a one-tap on the Parrot as well. Demonic is there to take down Labyrinth Fury. They hold on. We're going to maximum overtime. It's something I did not think I'd be saying. But we are, nonetheless. Champion have the defense side, though, which for Fury is not good. I do want to say this, and I'm just going to highlight it. I9 diff.
Yeah.
I9 diff.
It's not unexpected at all, you know. Obviously, I9 best player on Fury, I think, this stage, or one of the best players.
110%.
Hajime, yeah, BG Man's the other one.
Hajime, BG Man, I9, if you had to pick. But yeah, look, without him tonight, they are losing to a team that they really shouldn't be losing to. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah, like, Fury were laughing at the start, but I think, you know, it's like when you're just such a competitor, you know, you come into this game maybe like, yeah, we're gonna give Tide nothing to play with. We're gonna give all the other Operation League teams next week nothing to read us on. And then you get to like 6-4, and then that drive kicks in, like, yeah, okay, we want to win this. And then you lose those 2 rounds, it goes to OT, you get absolutely demolished in 2 of those rounds. And you're like, damn, I need to bring this. And now it's 7-7. The pressure comes in. This is not something that you can really fight off against. That desire to win as a competitive player is going to be there. It's going to be screaming internally. We want this win. We want to bring everything we can bring to get this win. We don't want to lose on Skyscraper in OT for a 3rd time. Not to Champion.
Yeah,
that's a great start.
It's a great start indeed. However, BG Man being downed and Dark on low HP means that Labyrinth will have a relatively easy time cleaning up, but Fury do take down Labyrinth. Lycolis on the Glaz. From Fury, this has already proven to be quite a successful strategy. One-on-one times. However, spotted now, the Osa getting the shield down. Crit J just has to watch it happen, unfortunately. He's saying no, they want the win. And there's a little bit of a confrontation there on the Shrine window. Bit of a mean one, if you do have to say so. But still, the fact that Dark is just droning here is very brave. There is a Nitro in the hands of Parrot if they choose to rotate around and try and use it. But I'm not too sure what the call is right now. Fury are just playing the information game, and arguably they need to, but Crit J hits a great shot, takes down Lycolis. If he finds 3 more, he's on for the kill record, and with 3 at his door, I mean, that's going to be doable, but flashbang to come through, completely blinding him. Fury are looking to walk into the building.
3 versus 4, we are getting in the thick of things. BG Man trying to play aggressively. He knows that Crit J is, but he shoots him on the legs. Crit J gets 2. The big plays that we talked about. He did this last time out on this side as well. Does it again. He's on 21 kills. He gets these final 2 kills. He will, I think, be on 23, which is the big number to hit. Solodic steals away 1 for him, but it's going to be a win for Champion unless Hajime absolutely breaks out the best performance he has had in the Operation League for some time. Tries to fight these angles. Crit J won't get his 22 or 23. 1v2. Hajime can make this clutch happen. We saw one earlier from Dominic in the first round. He knows where this player is, trying to find that cam. That's a bad idea. Take some damage. 30 seconds.
No needs to play with either. Hajime just needs to commit to the site here, honestly. Try and retrieve the diffuser, play out of the angle of the crossfire. He's going to opt for it now, or at least look to. Does make it into the site without being spotted. Will be able to go and retrieve the diffuser, avoiding the frost mat as well completely. Has 9 seconds to play with. Opts to go for the kills instead of playing for the diffuser. This is probably not the smartest choice. He spots one player running away. He's got 2 seconds remaining. Champion are going to fell the beast. Fury, an ultimate fumble. If I do have to say, all of us getting our predictions wrong. Nothing that any of us would have expected, but Fury... It is I9 diff highlighted right there. Crit J drops 20 and Fury go down to the 5th place team. That is going to hurt seeding for them completely. But my God, what a game from Champion.
Excellent stuff. Coming back from 6-4, never easy. Doing it on the harder side. The attack, never easy as well. But the way that they rallied, incredible stuff from Champion. Really have to give them so many props. The way they brought it to OT, the way they kept their cool. Crit J, like that one talking point in its entirety. Crit J, 21 kills he ended up with, coming up with big plays every single time. Every time his team needed something to bring them back in the game, Crit J was there. He kept himself alive until those decisive moments, even if he died in the end. And the team allowed him to do that. So big props all around. One of the best team performances we have seen all of this Operation League so far.
Look, I mean, the trade back and forth at the beginning of that game, it was, 1 for 1, 2 for 2 in overtime. It was a 1 for 1. Champion ultimately cut on top with the victory. And I mean, for Fury, that has got to be gut-wrenching. But again, it just highlights the I9 diff. I mean, that was Fury. That was old Fury without I9. They were losing to teams like Champion on the regular, and it hurt. But the giveaway is something you guys can win, even without 9-9. Follow Rainbow Six SEA Twitch channel where we are right now. The hashtag below, call your shot in the chat. Also, check out the Facebook page, Rainbow Six Siege SEA, and follow along on the post there for your chance to win one of the 8 different things being given away over on Facebook as well. But look, regardless of that, regardless of the giveaway, regardless of everything that's going on, the fact that Fury lost that is baffling to me. I mean, that it just realistically should not have happened whatsoever, and I don't know how Fury did let it happen.
Sloppy play from them. I don't think they care too
Very.
much. Yeah, like at the end of the day, they say some strats. Not happy with losing 3rd time on Skyscraper and OT for sure. The competitor in them 100% doesn't like it. Bite the bullet. They stay with it. They play with Dominic, as you said. I9 was the difference maker, not there. Just didn't work out for them. I think they'll be fine. As long as they go to Shunko Ping, as long as they win this Operation League in the playoffs, I think once they do that, this loss will be a distant memory. I9 is 100% going to be in those matchups. So that's pretty much it. Great win for Champion, though. They're going to end the season with 24 points. Just 3 points away from Gaming Gladiators, assuming Gaming Gladiators don't get any points later on against Direwolves. But that is a match that we have been searching for the past few days, honestly. And that delivered. Excitement all the way.
Indeed it is. And we still got 2 more left for you in store after this very short break. So I'm going to be back in a moment.
Turn cold, lost control. Looking at this beautiful distraction. Fell in love with a fatal attraction. I really let my guard down, now relaxing. Why did I open up? She taking way too much. Put in my all and got nothing back. I'm feeling so ashamed. I fell into your game. Why you gotta do me like that? Don't say you love me. Then go and leave me. It can't get ugly. Trust and believe me. Say it to myself. Look so deceiving. Trying to fight back this far from easy. I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you know my I've seen your hands. Delilah, don't you so to see. He chose to leave my life, so I'm on my own in the cycle. I can't believe you say you love me, then go and leave me. Can't get ugly, trust in my...
The faint buzz is a warning. It may be the last thing you hear. But I'm the last thing you'll see.
Was hit hard. He'll live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over.
Where you go? Where you go?
Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn.
What's going on?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
starting to lose face. Keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't hold back, and having regrets, hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. We're one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
Two games done, one of which absolutely star-striking us. I mean, Fury, I don't know what went wrong there, but first place definitely knocked out of the horizon for them. We move on to Elevate versus Astrape for game number 3. And I mean, Infian, I know we said that it was going to be a relatively quick one, but given that what we just saw from Champion was largely unexpected, do Astrape have the same ability to pull something like that off, or do we think that Elevate just stomp it?
Maybe if they go to Oregon, maybe if Elevate are like playing with Angry X and just like just not taking this seriously, because like Fury, they also have a very important match week coming up in Apex South. They also have secured their place in the top 4, which means they're going to the Operation League playoffs this stage. They also, want to win this Operation League in autumn, which just gives them a little bit more motivation to maybe also do something funky like Fury did. Astrape, we have talked about many times, just polish sometimes is lacking. When the polish came in, it was the strategies that were lacking. So there are mistakes, a lot of them, that Astrape make. If Elevate play weirdly, they can still capitalize upon them. I have full faith in them to do that. If Astrape don't make mistakes this time around, then there's a chance for them. Because Elevate, they're obviously playing for SI. If they don't get top 4 in Apex South, that's SI pretty much done, because they have to go through the open qualifiers, which teams like, Astrape are going to be in for the fight, Fury are going to be in the fight, all these teams. So Elevate, I don't know what's going through their heads right now. They've had a tough season though. They might want to end this off with a win still. Just go all out.
Yeah, look, a dub would be great for them. As you sort of mentioned, they've had their issues, they've had their moments throughout the season where they haven't necessarily performed the best of their ability that we know that they can come to when it comes to game time. But overall, Elevate versus Astrape is a match that I think is going to be one that holds a considerable amount of motive, not only for Astrape to do well here. They want to prove that they can tussle with some of those big names, but for Elevate, as you said, it is going to be largely keeping up appearance. They want to look good going into those SI quals, or at least avoiding the quals completely and automatically qualifying, regardless of the fact that, keeping up a high standard of play is something that pretty much any team should strive for. And for a team like Elevate, it's something that they do usually try and stick to when it comes to game day.
Also quality in their team. It's so hard to argue against it. Onigiri himself has won games in the past, in this year, specifically against far stronger opposition. And that was on Oregon, which is, the road game. Everyone knows which one I'm talking about, which is the only map that Astrape have won all year long. So, it is a sketchy situation for them. I haven't looked at the map that they're going to. We're going to see that in just a little bit, of course. But damned if you do, damned if you don't for Astrape, it feels like. And it always will feel like that when there's such a gulf in the quality of the squads on paper, in terms of results, and just in terms of the way that they've performed all year long. So this is the weakest that Elevate have been since 2021, I guess.
Yeah, but regardless of that, they've got the numbers to back themselves up. Onigiri, DCH, Mr. Punch, Mark, all boasting over 100.
Oh.
And Sap the only one there, unfortunately, not quite catching up with his team.
Yeah, missed a couple of games, right?
So. Yeah, did miss a few due to issues outside. But regardless of that, he's still keeping up pretty well with the boys. And game in, game out, Sapper is one of those players who consistently can win clutches. He can do pretty big work, but going up against them, Astrape, no one yet to unfortunately break that 100. Keith will be looking to tonight, but as a standout player for this roster, he is definitely one to keep your eye on.
Hopefully, Keith can deliver. I think, if I remember correctly, him and God is shiny. Yeah, were like pretty big in the win against Variance. Although my memory might be failing me. I was very shocked. I was so shocked. I wasn't watching the match live. I had to go and see what on earth happened. I watched the whole game. 7-2 victory for them. One of the rare times everything came together. Everything needs to come together today as well. Against Elevate.
It's going to have to do it a little bit more than it did, I think, there in that game. But on a map like Bank, yeah, that's going to be difficult. Bank is a map that, I mean, just in history itself alone, requires so much coordination to pull off properly that a team like Astrape, they're going to struggle regardless. I mean, Elevate, they've put the prac in. They've played this map at such a high level for so long. They've got that coordination, the chemistry. Compare that to what Astrape bring in. They've got one win in a year in this tournament. I mean, this is going to probably, this probably was the hardest map that they could have ended up on. It was a choice between Theme Park and Bank, and we got Bank. Theme Park, I could have seen Astrape maybe getting some rounds on, but Bank, I'm not enjoying that chance.
It's so big. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is like one of the biggest maps in the entire pool. I think Clubhouse rivals it, but Bank is, I think, number 1 or 2. Villa is slightly behind as well. Elevate, full strength, full focus. They are likely going to treat this as a training ground for stuff that they want to bring on Thursday. In a good way and a bad way. Oh, Onigiri is wearing a Game of Gladiators jersey. He met with those guys a couple of days ago before the ROG Masters game, which they just lost the grand final just now. But must have done a jersey swap.
Yeah, you love to see it. A little bit of inter-team support, I suppose. But regardless of the jersey they're bringing, Elevate, they don't need a jersey. Their reputation follows them wherever they go. And overall, I mean, right now, Astrape must be in one of the most heated pre-game conversations they've been in a while. Coming to the end, they want to show that they are a team that can compete at this level. Oblivion definitely having the chat. But as always, we're going to start off with the bands on Bank. Elevate gets a start on the defense. Astrape opting to go on the attack first. That is a definitely interesting choice and one that we should highlight before we get into this, because I would argue that this is probably more of a defender-sided map, but Astrape wanting to go attack first could indicate that they maybe have something up their sleeves here.
So, back in stage 2, before the Berlin Major, I talked to Onigiri, and he was basically like, look, we are a team that struggles with rushes. No matter what the level of the opposition team is, we just do well with it. And picking attack first, the Nook ban is a little bit surprising, but I'm going to circle back to that. Picking attack first does indicate that they want to try and smash and grab a couple of rounds early while Elevate are still finding the footing. Exploit that weakness that might or might not be there anymore. Because there's other weaknesses that opened up for Elevate as well, right? This stage. So maybe that is the idea. Get a couple of rounds and then you see whether you can try and bring it back on the defense.
Look, overall, Cade knocked to go, Thatcher as well, relatively straightforward for Bank, largely what you'd expect as well, and a Valkyrie from Elevate to round it out, no surprises. Everything there was genuinely, straightforward bans. There was nothing there out of the ordinary, I guess we could say. But for Elevate, it's business as usual. They get to start on the defense straight downstairs, as most teams would. Elevate locked in from Sapper. You do have to assume that that's going to be the shotgun at the top of blue stairs, but with no Jaeger and no Wamai, don't know how long or how viable that strategy will be. And it's a Scorpion, so no shotgun.
Mark also bringing the Azami. You haven't seen Azami in the past 2 matchups. Looking at the bans, though, Elevate playing it very simple. Just to circle back on that. They banned Valkyrie the last time out against the Strape as well. Easy ban, I think, to go for. If you would agree, Proto, because it just starves the team that is already on disadvantage. It starves them in information, which just makes your job a lot easier. You can make a lot of sloppy plays and still get away with them. Nook Azami were banned by Astrape last time. Nook continues on. Azami stays. And that's exactly why Marcus brought her out, although on the barbed wire, surprisingly.
Look, you don't really need too many impacts on the downstairs side. You've got Bayless. You've got the Oryx as well. So plenty of rotates can be made for denial. I do want to... Yeah, I mean, Dokubi Ying, no Jaeger, no Wamai, as we already talked about, and no denial. We got no smoke.
No Osa.
Yeah, well, interesting lineups. But I guess they work. Well, I guess we'll see if they work.
It's surprising that, you're seeing these guys push in from the garage right now, and then they are the ones who banned Nook themselves. Kind of dents my theory, they're trying to get a smash and grab a couple of rounds at the start, because, first of all, they brought a couple of quote-unquote, smash and grab operators in the Dokebi, the Ying, and the Capitao, as one call goes out, but they haven't followed it up. They followed it up with a Nook ban. They have been slow on the push. DCH gets the first pick onto the Dokebi of all operators. Not the greatest of starts.
Yeah, and Elevator quite happy now in the position they've got. They still have their own presence on the top floor. Half the round's been wasted, I could say here, by Astrape. Sapper finds a second, confirming that Elevator definitely looking to make this quick as they aggress literally up the main stairs. I mean, they are quite literally walking up, finding kills. Mr. Punch takes down Bolivian as well. Phenomenal does trade it, but at this point, what does it cost them? I mean, they still have players on the top floor that they don't have any information on whatsoever. The top and middle floor have been unchecked. And the way that Phenomenal's walking around here, he's going to be taken out. Will spot the Mozzie. Unfortunately, he does lose that on Agiri. I don't know how he gets away with it. It's all up to Pig G. Drops down into the vault. His position, largely unknown, apparently. He doesn't hold diffuser, though. His position now will be known, obviously, taking down that player. But in saying that, Elevate, they're going to close this round out.
He was panicking a lot. I don't think he was intending to drop down the hatch, though he did see it. No trades from Astrape. Not much of a game plan either. Disjointed, sloppy, the usual stuff that we have come to expect from Astrape in every single game except for that game against Variance. Yesterday they were pretty good, I would say, against Gaming Gladiators. They managed to get 4 rounds. It was like a brief comeback, right, Proto? You were casting that one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wait.
They did have a very short moment, but it wasn't too extensive. So, I mean, look, they have the same energy, maybe a little bit better. Could be completely different. But the picks are going to have to mirror that. Obviously, with the attack that we just saw, that smash and grab style doesn't really work if the only thing getting smashed is your head by all the members of Elevate. Because I don't actually think we saw anyone get further than the second floor in that round. We had no top floor clear.
They didn't even try it, yeah.
No, yeah. We had no top floor clear, no real second floor clear, and the only person that made it downstairs was PG falling down the hatch accidentally. So
it was so odd because you saw like the Dokebi push in, right? Like you saw her, she was like, "That's a great yokai." You saw the Dokebi going to her as the basement, and like, okay, surely this means like the Ying's gonna come in, the Dokebi, the firebolts from dirt as well. Nothing.
Yeah, we did not see too much at all. Now the pings are available. They do spot one. I don't know if they're expecting the second here on this jump out, and it looks like Onigiri might be looking to maybe go for this. He's seriously considering it with the pings that are available to him. He loses the second yokai though, so the information now traded out. Straight, you got to take that where you get it though. I mean, 2 yokais gone in the first minute of the round is pretty good. Obviously, Elevate weren't really playing to have that as an immediate denial tool, or at least if they were, there's no hope of that now, but that's good for a Strape at least.
Mr. Punch still holding down square. No challenge within 1 minute and 10 seconds. It's really odd. you think at this point you still have, you have some window pressure, some south window, the double door pressure, maybe from security room. Just nothing at all. Everyone on elevate has barely had to move.
Yeah, not really too much at all, other than Onigiri finding one onto God, takes him down on the rappel. So that's his Zofia. That's actually quite a large loss there for a straight. But I mean, look at the setups that Elevate have. It's so fluid. The movement that they can achieve throughout the sites, throughout their rotates, even on their roam, is just so fluid. The fluidity from Elevate is so different that a straight literally cannot seem to keep up with it. They've got people going left and right, nades, flashbangs, smokes, trying to force these players out of their positions, but they only have 45 on an execute. Mark's there on the cross to take down Bolivian, walking up Spiral, and Strape have achieved quite literally nothing in 3 minutes almost here. DCH takes down Phenomenal. The last is Pig G and Keith, and at this point in time, I don't think they're going to achieve too much other than padding their KDs.
Keith does get, that couple kills, I think. Trying to get a couple more. Can't even land the shots onto Onigiri. It just seems like a straight, whenever they get in these gunfights, prolonged gunfights, if you don't nail it in the first second, you don't get the headshot, then they start panicking. The spray goes left and right a little bit, which is just disappointing because they have the quality. Just have to keep calm. They have the quality to take teams down, to at least get a couple of kills,
You kind of have to at this point in time, but we do have to say that that was a lot closer of a round than the previous. And for Elevate, that was still pretty close. Coming down to arguably what was a 2 versus 1. Yes, the doc had the self-stim. Yes, he picked something up 3 versus 1 technically, but still, Keith theoretically could have won that. You do have to give them the benefit of the doubt always in a game like Siege, because something that you don't expect, like champion beating Fury, can happen if you're not paying too much attention. So, look, yes, Elevate win the round. Yes, 2-0 up, awesome, expected. But a straight arguably are quite close in a few of these rounds, which may not necessarily have been the expectation from the beginning, but in saying that, Elevate still good fashion. They are in the lead without any real questions.
Going for a little bit of a cheeky spawn peek is Sapper. He's had a good time so far in Stage 3. Personally, statistics-wise, he's going to juice up Mark, is he? No. Decides against it. But he's had a good time statistically. Been one of the bright sparks for Elevate in what has otherwise been a very disappointing season for them. Takes a little bit of damage trying to engage, I believe, on Square. Gets away with it. Just finds, what on earth? It's waste 1 stim.
I think he was attempting the self-heal there, but misclicked.
Yeah, forgot the button. I haven't played Dark in years.
Yeah, literally.
What do I do?
He hasn't been useful in years. But it's going to be Onigiri, who's attempting to be useful with the Oryx, and by useful I mean get aggressive. And you can't really blame him too much. The shots through the wall could prove to be fruitful here as the window does go down, and Onigiri makes his way into a pretty dangerous position inside a stock. Does get the Habana though before he gets taken aback a little bit. Has to push out here if he wants to stay alive. Some good damage dealt, but unfortunately not enough to take down Bolivian. Will be fragged out of that position. However, trading out the Habana before being taken down, that's pretty big from him.
It's a great sign from Bolivian to be able to get that frag, and I think it's going to help them get some HP back. But Bolivian pushes his luck too far. Mark on the long angle takes him down in response, keeps the man count advantage in Elevate's favor. They know someone else is on the rappel though. And Mr. Punch is looking to get punchy, give some support potentially from below. But Mark deals with him himself.
Yeah, Mark finds 1. Another kill for him. It's a 4 versus 2. Keith does know that there's 1 inside of the main lobby. You take so much damage. 1 health remains as he takes that kill. Mark falls. Shotgun unfortunately not connecting with the first shot. He will join back up with his teammate, who does have an adrenal surge he could use here to return him back to somewhat of fighting health. They opt for the walk-in. Maestro there to greet Mr. Punch, letting the Alder rip. Takes down both 80 bullets and a dream here. Well, I say a dream. You didn't have to try too hard. All you have to do is pull down. The Alder does the work for itself. And Elevate, they find a third without any real sweat broken.
This is disappointing from the Thinker. I mean, didn't even give himself or his teammate a fighting chance. Didn't use that final adrenal surge. He's pushing into sight. At that point, use it, man. If you're not gonna be long for this world, because you're likely not winning the gunfight. At least give yourself and your teammate fighting chance. Didn't do it. Elevator 3-0 up. They completed the full rotation. And Shape are looking at another 7-0. Elevate are looking at the second 7-0 after they beat Champion 7-0 on Friday.
Yeah, Elevate are setting themselves up well in this opening sort of half here to take this one pretty quickly. And overall, look, Elevate are a team that we'd expect this from. You know, they had that rough patch sort of after they finished up at their last LAN event. Made some changes here and there. And ultimately, they're back in a pretty decent form. Like, the return of Elevate has been a quite noticeable one. You know, you come to it, you sort of watch them play week in, week out. And from a team that did have some struggles after coming back from that LAN, they are in a very close position to returning back to form, which is good to see because they definitely deserve it with the work that they put in. And overall, I mean, look, it's a top seed team versus a bottom seed team. There's not really too much else we can read into it.
They're going to need to be in form if they miss out on SI, which is, I think, potentially out of their hands a little bit. No, they play Gaming Gladiators on Thursday. So, yeah, this is a good match to go away with. You know, that's the last match they're going to play before Thursday. It'll be a great one if they can do a 7-0 and just get that confidence in themselves. As you said, you know, they've lacked the form at the start of the stage. Lost a couple of games that they shouldn't have in both Operation League and Apex South, in RG Masters as well. And then at least sticking the landing will make it a lot easier to deal with. And then they can seriously look at what went wrong in the off-season. But Keith gets 2, 1 frag, 1 headshot. Sapper trades back onto Bolivian. Very low, gets felled by Peg G. 3 versus 2. A straight keep the man advantage with half the round left to go. A lot better from them.
Overall, a 2 versus 3 is very doable here for Elevate. They've done it plenty of times before, especially with Onigiri being one of the players left alive here. Overall, plenty of time as well. I mean, 1 minute and 10 seconds is a lot to work with if you take it into consideration. But Mr. Punch being the only one on the site does mean that Onigiri is going to have to fight his way back. And by fight his way back, I mean just briskly walk down blue stairs because no one from Astrape is there for some reason. But still, Elevate, 50 seconds remaining. You know, they are just going to be able to hold on at the site and take it from face value. Astrape are now the ones that are going to have to push on through because they took too long locking down that one player off site.
Can we see Astrape steal this round away? 30 seconds. They're putting Mr. Punch in a lot of pressure. He's going up and down, taking damage here and there. Keith is very low himself. No Finker on the board to bring his health back. They need to make a push happen. They need to commit to something, whatever it is. And they need to deal with Onigiri here on site on a very aggressive position. He misses the initial drop. Can he get this on the second time?
He spots the player out. He's got a great angle here as the wall opens up. Thermite, he is going to be the one trying to get the diffuser down, but they don't know Onigiri's so close. Oh my god, he connects for both. Keith, the last alive. All Onigiri has to do is run away. He's got plenty of time and he's going to win it out. Elevate. They lock it down off Onigiri's huge play. And unfortunately for the Yana, the shot's just not connecting. They find a fourth, but that was the closest that Astrape have been to taking a round away from Elevate.
And, you know, that's exactly why you want to give yourself more time to make that final execute. Because when you don't, you are misdrawing things. You have no idea where players are relocating. You have no idea whether they're holding the standard angle or an unorthodox off angle, you just are going in blind and you're relying on so much luck to get you across. And as you said, unlucky for the Yana that she didn't get the kill, but you don't want to be relying on luck. You want to make your own luck. That's exactly what Astrape didn't really do to completion. They tried very, very hard. They had a really good early round and mid round, and then it stalled out. And that just is why it just didn't end up well.
Look, overall, it was a good round from Astrape. Great round, actually. The execute looked awesome. They had that kill from Keith in the back lines to lock that down. It was just such a shame that they didn't have the time to check the site with a drone or probe it for someone like Onigiri just sort of standing around playing close by. Keep in mind, he single-handedly won that round. Killed the planter, flicked to his right, killed the player on the right, and then disappeared with time on his side. Had they probed the site, had they checked him there, Diffuser probably wouldn't have gone down. Arguably, they probably would have pushed the kill, which means they probably would have won the round, given that Keith did win his gunfight off screen. So, unfortunate for Astrape, but it's things like that that are the difference maker, right? Elevate know that they can play into those comfortabilities when it comes to clutch play, especially when they find openings like this, though. DCH paired with the Yokai that we saw in the previous round up in those windows, that's a freebie. An Elevate are going to take it willingly.
Too easy. No one's cutting him off here as well. Not that I can see. He knows the one's here in the basement. God, is shiny. Very important for him to get the refrag. He doesn't lose any HP. He was pinged. That was easily an engagement that DCH could have won.
Yeah, quite easily. Quite easily. But, look, it's a one-on trade. A Zoph for an alibi definitely favors Elevate a little bit more. I would much rather have a Zofia over an alibi if I had to pick. But phenomenal 1 and 5, DCH 4 and 3. I mean, look, trades kill wise probably hurts Elevate a little bit more. They do still have players like Onigiri running around though, so they're pretty safe, I would imagine. Infian going into the last half of this round. Plenty of time just to sort of stand around with the clash as well from Mr. Punch. I mean, this should be a relatively easy mop-up here for Elevate.
Fingers crossed they're able to do it, because Astrape in the previous round might use that momentum to kind of give themselves some good confidence. No, it's not looking good. The clash is pushed in very aggressively, unpunished. They lost one player. Mark took him down. Mr. Punch, a lot of damage dealt to him, but he still gets away with this. More damage, still alive though. Onigiri taking damage, but getting the kill onto Keith. That is the power player for Astrape. The only one who's positive so far.
Okay. Through the wall.
Off the ping, yeah, I guess. Just
casual.
Bolivia. And it's all up to Pig G.
Just a casual kill. But look at the Doc stims. 2 players were on 1 HP. Doc puts them back straight into it. He does go for the swing, but unfortunately Mark not quite sharp enough to take down Pig G on the ace. Does do some damage, I guess, for his consolidation, but Pig G finds a second Onigiri to fall now. Clash still in the running, though, is going to make this difficult, and there you go. Sapper from deep inside a stock. He finishes it off and Elevate. They stop messing around. They close it out. I mean, there you go. The mobile mirror, as some would say. Elevate looking for that 6-0 half. They've already found the 5. They need one more to make that dream a reality. And I think we generally could be staring down the barrel of the quickest game of the night. A 7-0, definitely on the cards here if Astrape continue to sort of throw themselves at Elevate.
Yeah, it's a defense. Astrape have no choice but to approach Elevate. And it kind of reminds me of that JoJo meme, right? Like, you dare approach me? And Elevate are just, just waiting, and they're gonna smash them to bits, no matter how much confidence Astrape have. No matter how close they get, they just aren't getting close enough. It's gonna hurt them. I truly wonder what's going through their minds, because it's a unique position to be in. They're clearly good enough to be in the Operation League. They're clearly good enough to defend their position. They're clearly good enough to take wins here and there. I think even in the ROG Masters, they got to like a fair point in that competition. So they have quality. They have beaten Variance here. They finally did it. But they are just so far off the pace from the top 4, or rather top 5 in this league. Champion are miles ahead. And that's them in 5th.
Look, there's a reason that Australia unfortunately have found themselves in the lowest end of the spectrum, but regardless of that, it's still good to see them putting in 100% whenever they get the chance, right? I mean, against a team like Elevate, against any of the APAC South teams, really, they always give it 100, and you love to see it. You really do. But for Elevate, it's unfortunately it's business as usual, right? They just run around and they play their own game, and unfortunately, that game is like 3 levels higher than anything that Australia have achieved just yet in their competitive careers. So take it with a pinch of salt when we say that Elevate are just romping the competition, because there's a very good reason for that.
Yeah, if Elevate can, run around and, beat that German rogue at SI, the chances, Australia have. They just don't have the experience. They don't have an ability to learn at that level. Elevate have obviously slogged through since they have come onto the scene in like 2017 as a team. Australia just a little bit sketchy over here. They do a lot of damage to Mark and get DCH killed. Mark's gonna go up to full HP though, as you said. Sappa once again worth his weight in gold with that dock, even if he doesn't get killed himself.
Just having the stim pistol, right? Like, constantly being able to put your teammates back up to full HP is just a crazy benefit. Yeah, it's a crazy benefit. Now, Mark will spot the Yana clone and will be forced back into the site there. Sapper does go down as well to Bolivian. So, Elevator actually down 2 members, which isn't going to be good on this execute. Onigiri will at least find one for his troubles. Taking down Bolivian. Makes it back into the site as well. So now that Elevate have that anchorage ability and the positional advantage of being safe inside of the site, Australia are going to have to walk into the crossfires being held by the 2-time. And I don't know if I rate the chances here for them, because this is going to be difficult.
Difficult feels like a massive understatement, my friend. Because Elevate, I don't care, what kind of position you put them in, even if it's against an international team, even if it's against an Apex South team. Their 2022 outside of Stage 3 has been so good, you always expect them to be able to try and fight it off. Keith does fight off Onigiri, though. If one is going down, it's gonna get stuck. That's superbly done. It's all up to Mark. In 1v3, he's taking so much damage. No more Sapper. Let's straight get around.
Just before the end of the half as well. What time better than the present to find a round? It only took them all game. But overall, it's a round. It's doable. And for a straight, it's something that they needed. They now go onto the defense, arguably one of the easier sides of Bank. But for Elevate, they will have attacked this multiple times, and I don't imagine that we will see too much here in terms of an extended period of play. But look, Elevate, if they choose to try some interesting things like you sort of highlighted, maybe they attempt something here that would be more indicative of what they want to do at a separate play day elsewhere, tournament-wise. Maybe they look to try some different strats right now, but given that they are sort of locking in seeding and they maybe want to sort of just play for safety, they will look to... I mean, we got a full 6-pick here from them. Everyone changing it up on their side of the roster. So definitely looking like they are wanting to lock in as opposed to test comparatively at the end of today's play day. I mean, they've had enough. It's probably getting late,
Yeah, straight. This is their last match, I believe, all season. I'm not too sure all year, potentially. Yeah. They might have to defend their spot here again. DCH trying to put the nail in their coffin. There's one window that has been barricaded. So DCH, no stress. He's going to whack away at it. He's going to take that down in just a second. Counting his shots, of course. Bolivian, he's got another castle barricade and a Nizami barrier to help him out. Just disable that angle, essentially. Unless Elevate uses some impact grenades on Sophia, which they didn't bring, or frag grenades, which they also didn't bring, so he's gonna stay safe until Elevate walk up to him, I think. Or he peeks up.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's one or the other, right? Like, if he peeks out, it's probably not going to go too well. But if everyone's saving face, then it shouldn't take too long for them to find him. God being on top of HP with no dock as well, keep in mind. The Strape have opted not to bring that operator out this time, which is a questionable choice, again, given his prominence at the moment. But I suppose it is a choice that we do have to respect. Half the round has elapsed and not too much has happened for both sides other than some damage dealt to Sapper and God. That's pretty much all we've seen achieved here.
Nothing doing for Elevate so far. As you said, it's surprising. It's usually something that we expect from a Strape. It's something that we have come to expect at this stage from Elevate, but against better opposition. Until Onigiri takes down Key, that's a big kill for them. That should make this very easy. They only have Pig G to deal with. Phenomenal tries to take a long angle. Onigiri barely has to move. He gets one more. God Shiny takes a lot of damage as well. DCH on the floor. Gonna get finished off. But triple kill. God Shiny taken off the board. Everyone's peeking Onigiri. Everyone's trying the luck at the slot machines. And everyone is losing their money to the house.
Yeah, they really are. It's unfortunate, but there's only 30 seconds left. They do still have Bolivian on this top floor, which, keep in mind, could be a very scary prospect if he is allowed to prevail up here. Big G will find one on the mark as well, which is going to make things a whole lot more interesting. The flashbangs start to come out. The impact does connect onto Mr. Punch. It's a lot of damage. The flashbang, however, is not going to connect. The pre-fire from Big G is huge. He finds a kill onto Mr. Punch, and very quickly Elevate find themselves in a scary situation. Sapper goes down as well. Bolivian from above can single-handedly win this round. He sees the foot of the player there. Big G will go down, so his support has been lost, but Onigiri, unfortunately, with not enough time left to Strape, they're going to win another round.
Well, Strape, 2 rounds in a row. Were you expecting to say that today, Proto? No. I know they had like a fairly decent comeback yesterday. So, maybe?
Maybe. I don't know. Look, given everything else we've seen tonight, it's kind of hard to say. It is really difficult keeping up with what's going on right now, but overall, it has been a pretty good match so far from a Strape. I mean, yes, 3 rounds behind. As you said, maybe we are expecting a little bit more from them, but it is definitely, I think, very achievable for them to at least find 4, if they're smart with how they do it. But Elevate, if they're any smarter than they have appeared in every other playday so far, they most likely won't let that happen.
You gotta hope, right? You once really got to hope that Elevate don't let this slip. We saw them nearly let things slip against Obsession yesterday. Just cave Obsession round after round after round when it looked like Elevate were set to walk away with it.
Yeah, indeed. And it's a difficult game to really keep track of as well when things like that start happening, because one minute it's this, next minute it's like, oh, hang on a moment, this has started going on over here, and it's like, well, who are we supposed to put our money on? Who are we supposed to predict in the predictions for the casters? Because we're all wrong, and it's all going terrible, and it's all good fun though. You love it when teams put your prediction to a question.
I'm happy I've been wrong, because that means there's more for me to talk about, more exciting stuff, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been predicting exactly as I have. Lots of people expect that. But Onigiri was very much expecting God is Shiny peaking that. That's a poor peak. 15-3 from Onigiri so far. They Elevate lose a couple of rounds. Onigiri himself is going to start challenging that BO1 kill record.
Yeah, he's definitely looking pretty close for it. Hunting, I guess you could say as well. But it's going to be the Candelas here for Elevate. 1 to go through Vault. However, no one there to collect it with their eyeballs. He will spot the player on the rotate. Damage taken, but none dealt. None really of note onto Pig G, but he will team kill. Does take down Onigiri, so I guess it's a 1-for-1 trade here for Elevate. They lose out on their own. It will now be Mr. Punch to walk on through. They don't know the position of the Maestro, but he is now spotted out and taken down by Phenomenal in the back. What has happened for Elevate here? It's all gone wrong. DCH finds Phenomenal. It's a 2 versus 2 with a Monty in play, but this is a lot closer than it should be.
Oh goodness, DCH. He gets it down onto Keith. He doesn't know it yet. Monty's trying to go for a long-range pistol shot, but they won't be comfortable getting this plant down until Sapper has blocked this doorway off. He doesn't exactly know where he's gone. He suspects, though. DCH, what can he do? Oh, he downs the Ying! That is massive. Gets the kill. All he has to do is deal with this Monty. 40 seconds to do it. Pings as well. They know that he's planting at this point. He's going to try and keep this alive. He has to break the glass off that Evil Eye, but the Evil Eye can still shoot. Sapper, he's gonna get this diffuse stuck. He gets Key finished off. Pig G has missed the trick.
Yeah, there you go as well. He had to plant away from the Goyo canister, which was something you could see with the Z-Pings. It was called by his teammate, play for the plant denial with the canister. And ultimately, he couldn't really make it happen. But now this is why Monty is so strong in these 1vx situations. You have to try and melee. You have to try and get behind him. But when you are so good at the game like Sapper is, you can just play in the position to deny infinitely. You've got the position to just sort of play for the shield drop, play for the bait, put it back up, exactly like we're seeing right now. It's a ring around the rosy. Pig G's going to opt to try and play aggressive, but Sapper knows exactly how to do it. He knows what he needs to do, and even if he dies now, the round is Elevates to win. They walk away on match point, and a Strape, unfortunately, will not get that one out, even though it was a great attempt there from the defensive side, and arguably, I'd give it to him if I had the power to, but unfortunately I don't. Elevate, they are one away from closing this game out.
Moment of genius from Pig G to take down the Ying, but a really poor misplay from him to not be more aggressive. If there's one operator in the world on attack that you can be aggressive against, it is the Monty. You can push up, just walk or sprint even. Hell, take the chance if you want, take the risk. Because what's going to happen? The Monty's ADSing waiting for you? Like, that is putting him at a much bigger risk than you are. And the risk for you is letting the Monty get the plant off. Because once you do that, as you saw, as everyone knows, a Monty in a 1v1 without C4 impact smokes, unkillable. Assuming, the Monty doesn't lose his head. He's just unkillable. You need an Oryx, Impact, C4, Smoke, something. None of those were available to the Pig G's... What's it? Maestro, yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, but look, the Maestro in that round arguably had almost some of the biggest impact I think we've seen for that utility in a long time. Like, personally, I don't know about you, but I haven't seen a Maestro camera actually do something as valuable as that in an extended period of play, given that Maestro doesn't come out too often, but on top of that, it is something that is quite a specific one moment, you see it every now and again type thing, as opposed to every round Maestro's there, he's doing the damage. But I don't know, it was good to see. And for Elevate, I guess it didn't pay off, which is good for them. But for a Strape, definitely some merit for an extended look at in the future. But it's Bolivian, it opens it up on Onigiri. He does have to run away, though, due to the fact that he doesn't have too much ammo in that SMG-11. So he is going to make it away, but could have done some more damage there. Phenomenal as well on a mark. Elevate falling apart a little bit here at the seams.
Brilliant start from a Strape, sorry. Onigiri taken down is going to peg the Strape back. Peg Elevate, oh my goodness. Peg them back so significantly. Keith got his shiny Phenomenal, all taken very low, but Mr. Punch, he can't do much with his position. Diffuse is not with him. It's with Sapper. And, DCH and Sapper, even when they come over here, they'll have a fight on their hands. Even if they clear this blue player, they still have 4 members left on the site. They have an Evil Eye to deal with. They have more utility to deal with in terms of, I believe, the barbed wire, which is going to give away their position. Off angle from Key, finally lands the shot. DCH still has to deal with one player on the second floor.
Does indeed have to deal with one. But look at the health bars here. Keith got his shiny and phenomenal. Make it just got a shiny and phenomenal on a very low HP now.
Oh,
as we look
DCH.
to sort of continue forward. There you go. DCH finds another one of those low health players, and very quickly the health advantage swings back in their favor. They've got 3 frag grenades as well to make something happen here if they want to try and play for, well, not only denying the Maestro of PG, but on top of that, they could just find a kill towards red, or, you know, even just taking out someone or putting someone on low HP, exactly like that from Sapper. He takes a lot of damage. There's almost a team kill. He's spotted out, but it's TCH on the trade. Elevate, they lock it out right there. No messing around. And unfortunately for a straight, the hopeful run ends there. But still, 2 rounds against Elevate is a relatively decent effort.
2 rounds against them, a 1v1 that they narrowly lost. Another one afterwards. The two basement defenses that they lost were very close as well. You take some rounds here and there, you apply some spit and polish on a Strape's gameplay, you're looking at like a 5-4 in favor of Strape. Of course, that wouldn't make a Strape because Strape are obviously unable to bring that spit and polish in pretty much every game. That will make them more like champion. But it shows, once again, a lot of people who wonder, why are Strape are in this league? How on earth do they manage to stick around if they take such beatings? It's because each of their rounds are not that poor. They have the ability to kind of bring the fight mid-round, early round. Sometimes they bring it late round as well. Sometimes it all comes together. Most of the time it doesn't. So it's just bringing that setup together that they are lacking. And it's what Elevate abused. 5-0 was obviously an incredible lead to fight off against.
Yeah, I mean, Elevate coming into this matchup had a very strong beginning. And for a Strape, it was always going to be a difficult one, but something that isn't difficult is all you have to do to get in on this giveaway. Follow Rainbow Six SEA on the Twitch channel and make sure that you enter the hashtag Call Your Shots in the chat. Also go check out the Facebook giveaway on the Facebook page at Rainbow Six Siege SEA. Follow the instructions there for your chance to win some more goodies as well. But I mean, Elevate, great game from them, hands down, continuing up to keep appearances. We said they were going to do that, but look, Strape definitely had a good moment for themselves. So it is overall a good appearance from Elevate, keeping face, staking name, and for that you do have to give them the benefit of most doubts. But for a Strape, I definitely do have to give them some respect as well. As you said, the score of that game was no way indicative of how well a Strape actually played it. I mean, that came down to 3 separate 1v1 attempts, etc., etc. But oh well, it happens, and hopefully they can prove themselves a little bit more next season. But we are going to head to a very short break where we will be back with the last game of the night. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
The faint buzz is a warning. It may be the last thing you hear. But I'm the last thing you'll see.
Was hit hard. He'll live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over. Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn.
What's going on?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?
Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking, get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back, and having regrets, hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. We're one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back from the break, bearing some unfortunate news. Our last game of the night has technically already been played. We do have a score. It is 7-0 going in favour of the Direwolves, since Gaming Gladiators, due to scheduling issues, unfortunately cannot make the game this evening, so they will be given a forfeit, and the victory will go to Direwolves. So congratulations to the Direwolves. Good job, guys. Really solid game. I personally enjoyed that one a lot, Infian. It was very in-depth, really, really cool strategy.
It flew by.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
honestly
blink
don't
and
even
you
remember
miss
what
it.
happened.
Blink
I
and you
genuinely
miss it.
didn't even know what happened. So I'm just going to say that Direwolves were insane. We knew that coming into it, though. And yeah, look, we will still do a giveaway for it. For anyone who's worrying, don't turn the stream off just yet. The giveaway is still coming for this match that we would have had, provided that Gaming were able to show up. But unfortunately, they weren't. And look, 7-0 to Direwolves. It doesn't change the seeding. We do still have the same top 4 coming into it that, you know, we were going to have anyway. Which, look, other than not getting to see the game, which I'm not too upset about, if I'm being honest. It's getting quite late. But regardless, it would have been.
It might have been a
7-0.
Yeah, it might have been a 7-0 anyway, because obviously we know why. Logically, you can put 2 and 2 together. We don't know for sure, but like Gaming Gladiators have played 5 maps today against Panthera and Scars. They lost that second game, so like obviously they are not feeling, you know, psychologically great. They're kind of like mad about it. They learned a lot of important lessons, they said on Twitter, about IGLing and stuff like that. Losing to Scars, not a great look. They have a very important matchup against Elevate coming up on Thursday that could decide a major spot for them. They need to keep ahead of Fury. Just need to outscore them, which is going to be a tough ask. But, you know, you guys can score yourself 600 credits here. An Operation League C pin. Hashtag call your shots, as Proto said. The giveaway is still active here. The giveaway is active as well all the way until next Sunday on the Facebook page. On the ROG Masters. Lots of goodies. 7,560 R6 credits, Shibis, shirts, pins, a small sledgehammer, a lot of
some
goodies.
Cool
and
Kingston
RAM.
Fury products as well.
Yeah, 32 gigs or 16 gigs of RAM.
You can't miss it. It would be rude to miss it, so make sure you go and check it out. But overall, I mean, regardless of the last game of the evening, everything else tonight has been great. And look, I think Direwolves probably would have walked away with the victory anyway. As you said, you know, they've been playing for extensive periods of time for the last few days.
Haven't lost at all.
Exactly.
Since July.
They're definitely hurting. But the Direwolves do go undefeated, which, I mean, that's a great feat in itself. It has come down to overtime a couple of times, but they still walk away victorious. You do love to see it. I was genuinely expecting this one to be like an 8-7, you know, or like a 8-6 at least, 7-5 on the sort of lower end of things. But I'm not really surprised that Gaiman turned around and had some scheduling issues. So regardless of that fact, it is ultimately a shame. But to round the evening out, I think the Elevator straight game was genuinely a pretty good one. Now we do have the leaderboard coming up for the confirmation. We already know who the top 4 are. It's Fury, Elevate, Direwolves, and GG. I mean, no questions. It will now obviously come to seeding. Where does everyone sit at the end of today, which we will get to see momentarily. But if I'm not wrong, everyone should stay in the same place. Gaiman 4th, Elevate 3rd, Fury 2nd, Direwolves 1st. Don't quote me. But if my brain and my math do good, then that should be the order that we see it in.
Yeah, it should be that way. It's not really a big deal for Elevate because, yeah, I mean, either way, you know, whether Elevate stayed in 3rd, whether Elevate stayed in 2nd, they would face Fury in the playoffs that are happening from Saturday onwards. Gaming Gladiators, they didn't win today. You know, they could have climbed up, but I think they saw the math, right? So Gaming Gladiators, they won 27 before this. They took like a penalty point for not turning up today, which is obviously makes sense. And they would have been up onto 30 points, but round differential might have played into the factor, and they could have been behind Fury anyway. But these are the matchups next week. Elevate vs Fury, the Thai Derby. Today, they were together on stage on the ROG Masters. Next Saturday, they're going to be in the server against each other. followed up by Dials as Gaming Gladiators, the match that we were robbed of today.
Yes, the one we don't get to see tonight will be played out next Playday. And overall, I mean, that is a relatively good set of games, I think, for the semi-finals to set us up for the finals. I mean, we've had such a great season so far here in the Operations League Autumn Series. And, I mean, Infian, looking into next week, we've got the playoffs coming. What are you expecting the finals to look like?
I have to back Fury for this one. They have beaten Elevate here in the Operation League once in the Apex South division. They are going to look for a very nice momentum build if they get to the major, which is potential. If they don't get to the major, then they'll be looking to, win something, which is still an equally strong motivation point for them. They have looked better, more proficient, thanks to those ex-Elevate players, particularly DG Man, I9. I expect them to win. I expect Dials to continue on their win streak like goodness. I don't think Dials can be stopped unless Knights, ends their run in Apex South on Thursday without Reaps, which is going to be the case then. And then Dire will take the win. I cannot look past Dire for Operation League. So good.
Well, all things that I guess we will find out in the next Playday and beyond. But from us, that is going to be it. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you check out the Facebook page as well as everything else. And we hope you've enjoyed the games you've seen here tonight. That is all from us, though. And we will see you next Playday. Have a good one. See you later. Good night.
To the come on, it's the first page, but I shift the road up just like an earthquake. Still follow my dreams, even in the worst way. Still doing my thing, no break in my birthday. Take a long way home, had to lean on myself. Let's try to swallow me whole. Jump so high, it's not about a cushion in a max, but all about power through the struggle than a test. 38 in my lung, I can even breathe. Praying to the sky, even almost getting sick. I am who I am, even talking from the street. If you want some beef, they will turn me to the beast. Before getting caught up, I need to get caught out. Stuck in the cage, trying to find my way to broke out. Got a whole lot of proof, now I just need to boat out. One day on my shelf, so my tickets will be sold out. Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. Ready for the ride, ready for the fight. I said I move too quick, don't last, clear the high line. No time, I got no time. Road to the hilltop, always so rocky, so tight. Gamble with my life, hard to being on my own. Trying to stay in line, so I leave it on my phone. You can find one of a kind person like me. Live it in the moment, had to set my mind free. Cause over fear, anytime's near. I'm to the tears, finally don't shed tears. Betting on me is the right way, stand no. Always pulling down the ramp before the rainbow. Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back and having regrets. Hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. We're one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
Can't tell me nothing, don't know why. I'm around for the long ride. Look up, kiss the sky, waste no time. I'll be brightest of my life.
Used to be the kid, now I'm here the top. Hustle pay the price, so we don't stop. Racing time, fighting with the clock. I'm a runner, played out from the start. Even if I'm starting to lose face, keep my head out, still going on my way. Call my own shots until I'm breaking. Get a move on until I make it. But I can't go back and having regrets. Hitting all the stacks, and that is why we're here. We're one gonna last. Tell me, what are you waiting? Take it over, and this is my year.
It may be the last thing you hear. But I'm the last thing you'll see.
Was hit hard. Here, live. Server room, identify perimeter breach. Over.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Withdraw your men.
Say again, Grim.
I'm going in. My turn.
What's going on?
What the? Impossible.
Didn't think you spooked this easy.
Micro recon drones. Cute.
You forgot this. The data key on your jugular.
You were saying?
What was on that server?
QCR shipment records. Question is, who wants eyes on it? And why?